This is how we do it.
Coming soon to this theater.
It's alive. It's moving. It's coming this way.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to this lovely Saturday evening, and welcome to this episode of the Horror Movie Club, the club where what do? We watch horror movies, of course. The only caveat that we have when it comes to picking a movie is that it always has to be something that's not behind a paywall, and so that way, if you're listening to us talk about the movie, guess what? And it sounds interesting to you, you can click on the link below in the description and it will take you to an unedited, uncensored version of the movie that we're talking about tonight. And the movie we're talking about tonight is 1960s Peeping Tom by Michael Powell. It is a classic horror film, and it is also a notorious one. It is famous not just for being a great film, it's famous for having completely destroyed the career of its director. After Michael Powell made this movie, he had been actually like a respectable filmmaker. He had done like The Red Shoes, for instance. I think not. Did he do Black Narcissus? I think he did, actually. And then he did this, and he was excommunicated from the world of British cinema and world cinema. I think he ended up actually working for Australian television at some point, but this movie, that was it. That was it for him. It was considered so shocking. It was considered so transgressive. It was considered so deeply fucked up that critics took it personally. And he got
canceled.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Pre-cancel culture cancellation. Yeah, man. They fucked this shit up. Of course, what would I be without my co-host? Of course, we got the Pops, man. What's up, Pops?
The other guy's your co-host. I just hang out.
No, I know, but you have to speak up. So now you speak up.
Yo, it's time for our boy, Matt.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Thanks for having me, Brian.
Better now that I'm hanging out with you, man. Better now that I'm hanging out with you. Subjective perspective. What up? How y'all doing? We're doing good. World's a little fucked up. Life's a little fucked up, but we keep our chins up and maintain our good spirits. But yeah, Aaron, thank you so much for hanging out. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. Wow. Yeah, tonight's movie is a doozy. What's interesting is that it's from 1960, right? So it's considered shocking then. So then it's like, well, you watch it now and it's really tame in comparison to a lot of other films, although it's very mentally and emotionally fucked up. It still packs a wallop. It still packs a big punch. And we are going to get into that. But first, I wanted to do a little week in horror stuff. One of the movies that we were talking about the past few weeks, we'd seen, first there were some pictures that dropped. Then there was a trailer that was pretty blame. And then there was a trailer that was a little more encouraging. The movie I'm talking about is Renfield, which I think is still out in cinemas right now and is also available on streaming, which is fantastic. I'm glad that this is the new model, right? Hollywood is starting to do what independent movies have been doing for like 15 years now, which is when they release a movie theatrically, they release it simultaneously to streaming. Now, Hollywood's not quite there yet. They still make you wait like 2 or 3 weeks.
I think that's the best way to do it.
I do too.
Well, I
do
just
too.
Like, wait like a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Like let it get that theatrical bump and then boom, flush it. I would say
Absolutely.
a month. You know, like because for me, I always like if I can, I would love to see movies in the theater. It's so fun. I know that's one of my favorite things in life.
Me too.
Hobbies. I don't ever do it just because a lot of the movies are trash. But this year, actually, we saw some cool movies coming out. Like, you know, John Wick 4 looked good. Renfield looked good. I'm talking just go to the fucking movies and watch a movie, whether you like it or hate it. You know, you're gonna have it looks decent at least. Voyage of the Demeter looks great. There's a couple more. That I would go see that Fast and Furious. It's pure cheeseball, but I would go watch that. It would be fun in the theater.
Nothing wrong with cheese. Nothing wrong with cheese. It's not my flavor of cheese.
Right.
You know, like
I like a good
Swiss. I like a good stinky cheese. You know what I mean? I like a good like blue cheese.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Totally. On some,
especially when you let it get like a little or like Gorgonzola. You know, you let it get a little funky. Smells like feet. Tastes like fucking heaven.
But put in a burger. With black pepper sauce.
Burger. Oh my! Oh yeah, boy. Now you're talking my language, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Subjective Perspective says that they have seen Evil Dead Rise, which is one of the movies. That's the next thing I want to see in the theater. Says was a 6 out of 10, good but not great. Everything I'm saying, like the worst reviews I'm hearing, say that it's mid, and then there's like all the other reviews are like it's awesome, like the best horror movie of the last 10 years. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen any movie this year.
I haven't seen anybody say it sucked.
Right, you know? Right. So that's encouraging. That's encouraging.
Pretty fucking good. Like for it to be mid without Ash.
Right, but that's the worst review. The worst review is like, it's
that's
okay.
What I mean. Yeah,
pretty good for without Ash. So it's either it's fucking, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, the thing is you have to decide what genre you're doing, because if you're doing horror, which is what they're doing currently with the franchise, you can't have Ash in there. You can't have Bruce Campbell in there because you can't, because then it's not horror. Then it's splat stick.
Yeah, right. Or it turns into like action at that point. Like if you have him in there and he's not you put him in there and he's the Punisher, Ash, you know, which we haven't seen 100%. Where it's just no games. Like you put Ray Stevenson in there, I'm Ash. You know,
but
and a fucking
the fans would never stand.
You know
but here's the thing.
Might get away with like a fucking, you know, like a action horror, you know.
The fans
are like that. They want their splat stick. They want their Three Stooges. You know what I mean?
They want their and that is a character that can only ever be played by Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, I don't really want to see him remade. I'd rather have a new character come in. I would rather have a new character come into the franchise with something new. You know what I mean?
You can have 20 Conans. You can have 20 Conans. You can have 20 Sherlock Holmeses. You can have 20 James Bonds, 20 Batmans. You can't have even 2 Ashes.
No, I think it's going to probably take like a good 50 years for that to happen. For him to become
like
Dracula status at that level. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have Voyage of the Meter and Renfield coming out within the same year. You know?
Right.
Or you have fucking Michael Keaton, Affleck, and you know, Battinson within like a 14-month span. You know what I mean? You can't do that with Ash yet. I think in another maybe 20 to 50 years you could do that.
Maybe. Yeah.
But
right now, and I'm not even saying that like I would be like, oh, this is not Bruce Campbell, I'm not watching it.
Right.
But I know my Evil Dead stands. I know my Bruce Campbell stands.
It's hard,
and
dude.
I get them. And I get
I'm gonna be looking for all the quips and qualms and social and mannerisms he has, and it's just the vibrato and the fucking the idiocracy, like just all the little things that he does perfectly in performance. He's irreplaceable, just as the same as Wesley Snipes is irreplaceable as Blade, in my humble opinion. Like, I just don't think it can happen.
Oh, see, I disagree. I mean, Wesley's the shit, right? Don't get me wrong, but I always thought, like, for like the TV series, I was like, why didn't you all get fucking Michael Jai White?
Yeah, he was always my second pick too.
Right?
For sure.
He would have been a great Blade. And he could do fucking martial arts too. The dude's a fucking martial artist. He could have done all of his own fucking fight
I ain't gonna lie, you got me. Because I would hire either of them now. I don't give a fuck. Like, I would still hire either of them now. They don't look bad either. They look fine. They look like they're like 40. They're probably in their 50s now, but they look 40, and it's sellable, even like a fucking hard 30, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I would put them, fuck yeah, dude.
Without a doubt.
You got me. I forgot about that too. I was always thinking about that all the time, you know, because they were always like the two badasses that could play a lot of these cool characters that we like, you know. Like, they could both play T'Challa, they could both play fucking Blade, they could both play Al Simmons, you know.
Fuck yeah.
And they got the moves. I think you gotta have the moves now, like, for certain characters. Like, if these characters are busting out fucking badass martial arts, like, hire a martial artist actor, you know.
Yes.
If you want Batman, hire fucking Scott Adkins. He's not doing Hamlin up there. I mean, you need a decent actor. You don't need a great actor. You need a good actor, you know.
Somebody who has some presence. Who has some presence. But you know what? Scott Adkins is a proper actor now.
Yeah, he is. Definitely. I've seen him do his delivery. I've seen him read Batman dialogue.
Yeah, he did that little did that. It was like a video audition.
Yeah, with him and the Michael Caine scene, you know.
No, it was Jeremy Irons. It was Jeremy Irons.
I seen another one that he did from The Dark Knight Rises where it was
really?
Where he was doing that scene where Bale and Michael Caine were on the stairwell and he he's like, "Goodbye, Alfred." You know, like, he kind of did that one too. So he did 2 already. So hopefully James Gunn fucking pulls a gun on that guy and pulls the trigger on him. Like, he's perfect, you know.
And if you're not going to
build him up even more and get him out there.
And now with the John Wick thing, right?
Yeah, he's down.
And he's playing character parts. Avengement, for instance, that was a character part.
I haven't seen that one.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's about like this guy who's like an MMA fighter, but otherwise is just like a real like Boy Scout who gets framed by his father and sent to prison.
Wow.
And while he's there, his father is constantly trying to like get him killed. So he's constantly getting into prison fights. All the fights are prison fights.
Yeah, I think I have seen that movie, but I think I might have been a little tipsy when I watched it, probably a couple years ago.
It's really good. And then
I'll watch anything he does.
He comes out. Yeah. And he's just like, it's like the Count of Monte Cristo. He looks different. His face has been rearranged so many times. He looks almost like a different person.
Right.
So, I mean, the guy can do character parts.
Yeah.
And really for Batman, that's not even so much about acting as it is about presence, I think. What up, Maiden? Good to see you, darling. Yeah, Wesley would be 60-ish. Oh, yeah, and Wesley's been sick, too.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you've seen him. Yeah, he's been in bad health.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He looks like he's lost a lot of weight. Naturally, wish him a very fucking speedy recovery. But yeah, speaking of Blade, the news just dropped today that the Blade TV series or the movie that they were planning. I think at one point it was a TV series. Then I think it was like a feature film or something like that. I read
something on Yahoo about that shit today. Keeps getting pushed back.
Find that.
They have a new like showrunner or new producer or writer or some shit on it. Someone new.
Yes, but now shit has gotten real because writer's strike.
Yeah, I heard about that too. Yeah.
Now
I like that logo though. I ain't gonna lie. I do like that logo.
Yeah, the logo's dope, logo. but we know what Disney Marvel is all about. It's the same thing Disney Star Wars is all about. Bait and switch.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get me slipping. Fuck that.
No, you can only seriously after you know what did it for me was the Werewolf by Night movie.
I was what broke me, dude. But
I'm out.
Like, I haven't seen any of the new ones. I saw some of the TV shit.
I'm done.
But
I'm done.
I haven't seen the whole. I haven't. The one that I wanted to see was the last Spider-Man movie. That one looked fun because they had Maguire in it, and the 3 of them. That one looked dope. I know that's like
that is awesome.
I know that's adjacent Marvel. Like, it's not full Marvel.
Sony Marvel.
It's almost like it's the fucking the Sony Marvel, the Sony Spider-Verse. Like, I heard fucking Craven's looks dope. with that kid from Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass is Craven. He's playing him, and it's a Craven movie because you know how they did Morbius, so they're doing and they're doing Venom. They're doing the Rogue movies, you know. So I'm down with that
because they're trying to do a Sinister Six is what they're doing. They're trying to lay the foundation
for the Rogue movies. Like I'd be down if they did Batman Rogue movies other than just Joker all the time. Like Joker was a good movie, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it like in different ways. But it was cool as a movie, like whatever. But I'm not excited. I don't want to see another one. I don't want to see a fucking 10-year-old Bruce Wayne with fucking a Joker-esque dude running around throughout fucking New York, which is supposed to be Gotham City, with Lady Gaga fucking shaking her ass all over the place and fucking doing all her stupid shit. Like, I don't even give a fuck about that. I don't want to see that. I'd rather see something else.
That's how you really feel. Tell us,
That's
man.
how I really feel, dude. Like, it's like I don't need to see it. And if it's a musical number, I don't need to see Singing in the Rain with fucking and falling down and fucking.
The idea that
comedy, I don't need to see all that shit.
The impression that I got was that clearly was not a movie that was meant to have a sequel.
No,
and
made $1
I
million,
think
dog. Like,
dude,
like we're gonna
conjure nothing.
We're gonna conjure something,
dude. It was like fucking, you know, what would have been like a $20 million budget or something like that.
Yeah, $20 million, dude. Like Deadpool had fucking $60 million budget and allegedly, I think, made $750 million.
Yeah,
so it profited $750 million, making it the most, best.
Here's the thing, Todd Phillips
movie for superheroes.
Here's the thing, Todd Phillips. I met that dude back in like the 90s after a party for Gigi Allen. It was like a benefit to get a tombstone for Gigi Allen after he OD'd like 2 blocks from me, right?
Oh, fuck.
And because the first thing that he did, a lot of people aren't aware of this, was Hated, which was the Gigi Allen documentary. That's his first movie. And I remember talking to that dude at a party, and he seemed pretty based. And I think what happened was they were just like, "Well, we want a sequel," and he's just like, "Well, are you gonna pay me? Yeah, sure, okay, I'll give you a sequel." And he's just gonna try to do something to entertain himself, and doesn't give a fuck whether or not it makes money.
That's why
that's what the Wachowskis did with the last Matrix movie. Yeah. They were like, "Hey, well, we're going to make it with or without you." Oh, okay, here, let me make it. I'll make it.
I'll make something.
Fuck that shit up, and there you go.
That's why he's making it a musical. I think that's why he's making it a musical. Because the Joker movie, like I said, it was a good movie. You just like, like I wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Like it kills me to see Joker without Batman. You know what I mean? Like he's got to fucking be in there at some point. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I would love to see Joaquin Phoenix in a fucking Batman movie.
Oh, he's perfect for Joker. Yeah, he's great.
He's perfect.
Like, he's got the big old fucking nose. It's all fucked up. Like,
and the creepy voice.
Oh, perfect. I wouldn't even have. I would have put him in the OG costume too. Like, you know what I mean? Adrian Brody's another Joker. Nolan almost hired him. He's got that big fucked up nose. You paint that fucker white.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, well, I mean, for me, always, Crispin Hellion Glover.
He would have been a good one. But for the one, though, that just fucking trumps everybody, that just fucking says, "Hey, go sit in the corner. I'm going to show you something real quick. Go sit down in the corner," is Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
Go sit there, and I'm going to show you how a man does it.
Yeah, if you have not seen that, folks, if you have not seen that deep fake, it's on the YouTubes. Look it up.
There's a gang of shit, dude, all over the net with him.
Isn't that amazing?
It's appalling that like he's not the Joker. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, it's ridiculous.
The motherfucker could be like 90, and like I would still cast him like up against the fucking 29-year-old fucking Battinson. You know what I'm talking? Like, you're gonna play the Joker, dude. And he's down, dude. He's ripped up. He'll do like most of his own stunts. Yeah,
I mean, he's, he seems like he's in pretty good health.
He is, he's in good shape.
Yeah, he's one of those people like I look at and I think, clean living. Like that's somebody that hasn't like punished his body.
I think of that too, but then I also think like good genes. Like I think a lot of shit.
Oh well, yeah, that's part of it. I think
it's like good genes and then like clean living, kind of like catching up a little bit,
Yeah. That's the magic combo.
So did you see?
For sure.
Did you see Renfield?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Thanks for getting me back on point. Yeah. I'm ADD as fuck, and now of course they cut off my fucking my supply. They cut me off. They cut off my Adderall. So if I seem to be a little slow, it's their fault. I blame them entirely.
It's all good, dude. I only slept like 2 hours yesterday.
Yikes. So. Oh, dude.
He looks dope, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
So what did you think of the movie without,
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And here's the thing. It's it never wears out its welcome.
Really?
It's 90 minutes long,
Yeah,
which is unheard of.
Yeah.
For a movie
Andy Smith
these
saw it
days.
too. He was on Open the Gates and he was talking about it. He said, he liked it. I was like, well, how was Cage in there? That's what I want to know. I mean, like,
oh well, how do you think? Like
So-
how do you think he clearly makes the movie?
yeah.
And-
they would have to. At the end of the day, like that's your, like if you're doing a Batman or like a Dracula, those are the two where you can keep making multiple movies of, right? We're always talking about that, where they have like those characters, they're those Wellspring characters, where you can make 10 of them a year.
Yes,
Dracula
yes.
and Batman are two of them, right?
Yes. Of course, this is like a comic version of Dracula, but it's Nicolas Cage.
Right.
And I remember seeing those first pictures emerged from the set of him as Dracula?
Dude,
and we
they
both
reminded
had
me of the
fucking
first-
hard-ons, dude.
Dude, they reminded me of the first like Heath Ledger set of the Joker when I seen him.
Right.
Like I'm like, oh, he looks kind of scary. You know what I mean? Like it was at that point where we first had those like, or the Tom Cruise ones when it was Lestat, back in the day. I was like, okay, and I don't know, like his photos, Lestat's of Cruise and fucking Ledger, they all sold me like they intrigued me.
Yes. Well, I mean, the reason why Interview with the Vampire worked was because it wasn't a Tom Cruise movie. It was a horror movie that had Tom Cruise in it as an actor.
Right. Much like Tropic Thunder,
right.
For whatever genre that was.
Oh, yeah. And he's brilliant in that. He's fucking hilarious.
That's how you use Tom Cruise, I think. I mean,
yes.
I mean, if you want to make money, you make Top Gun 3, but otherwise, for the most part, or make Mission Impossible fucking 14, but
well, the problem with look, remember, this is after the aborted Universal Dark Universe, which was a stupid fucking name. It should be the Universal Monsters.
It's like,
that's the fucking brand, Universal Monsters.
When you start classifying universes and you like nail them down to what they're going to be, it kind of fucking puts like bad luck on shit. It puts in bad fucking blessing, I think, sometimes. And you're like, don't call it anything yet. Get fucking 3 movies under your shit first.
It makes it makes that niche even smaller.
Yeah,
when you send shit in.
Don't classify it yet. Like make a couple, maybe make a few movies. Let the fucking internet, now that's what we have, the stupid fucking internet. Let them call it something. Let the fan base call it something. But
of course they're like, well, we want the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Right. Like, we want the Marvel movies because we have these IPs, because that's how they see them.
Yeah,
right.
You just need to chill. It's like, dude, you have the fucking first shared cinematic verse, like before even Marvel ever. You know what I mean? Like, just chill out.
Do that.
Make some scary movies with some dope action at the end. Like again, we talked about it. We're gonna keep hammering that again. And
make them their own films, and then just fucking throw those characters together for fucking House of Frankenstein, and just turn it into a fucking all-out monster fucking rumble.
So this scene right here, was this in the movie, or was this just
this is the well, this is the thing that here's the thing. I immediately was disarmed by this movie, where it opens up, right? And Dracula is, doing his thing and ripping some vampire hunters apart. Mm-hmm. And then Renfield is narrating, so he goes back in time to his origins. Okay. And suddenly we're looking at the 1932 Todd Browning Universal Dracula.
That's what I thought. Okay.
And have you ever seen the movie Zelig?
No.
Okay, because you use this term Zelig, right? It was a comedy that was by Woody Allen. And it was a mockumentary about a guy named Zelig who was like a human chameleon, and you see him like in all these famous places throughout time. And so what they would do is they would take like old footage, like from like one of like Hitler's Nuremberg rallies,
right,
and then put him in the back,
like Forrest Gump.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Same gimmick. That was the first time anybody had done that. and it was funny as shit. And they did, and of course now the technology is so much more advanced.
Right.
So they took the original movies and they fucking deep faked them, and they replaced fucking Bela Lugosi with Nicolas Cage and Dwight Fry with Nicholas Hoult.
It's kind of cool in a way. I mean, I ain't gonna hate.
It's really cool.
And so, like, with that being said, they're kind of continuing the continuity of that original universe into what we have now.
Yeah, I mean,
sorta.
This is not going to be. I mean, it could be its own franchise. Almost anything could be, but if they're going to be serious about bringing back the Universal monsters, this is not it.
Okay,
this is it's a comedy. It's a good one. It's reasonably heartfelt. It's by Robert Kirkman. Robert Kirkman wrote this.
No shit.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they're really kind of keeping his name on the down low for this, and I don't know why. That's weird. It is very Kirkman-esque. The gore, for instance,
over the top, splat stick.
That's very much his kind. Yeah, very much. Yeah, well, you get a lot of that. Some of it's good. It's a mix of practical effects with CGI.
Okay.
Sometimes CGI blood is always going to look like shit.
Right.
But there are enough. But those are done very fleetingly, and you can tell that they put the budget where it belonged, which was on like the practical makeup effects, which are pretty exceptional. But yeah, I mean, look at this. How fucking cool is this?
That's pretty cool, dude. I'm sure Nicolas Cage was like, fuck yeah, that sounds fun, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, do you want to play Dracula? Yes.
Do you want to play Bela Lugosi's fucking character? Like you want to play Dracula in Bela Lugosi's universe?
You know what I mean?
Hey, Brian, did you know that there was a short film released today that has a clip of me being shot?
What are you talking about? Is this news? Like it's breaking news?
Well, you know how Laurie, Path of the Pale Rider, how she does her short films that go along with her campaign and stuff.
Yeah.
She released the third short film of the series today.
Oh, okay.
And I did a little bit piece for her. It's
you got it or what? Why don't you share it?
Oh, I can pull it up if you want to see it, dude. Let's do it at the end, though. Let's do the movie now.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we will get to Peeping Tom, folks. And if you haven't seen that, holy shit. Well, I mean, I'm gonna see what Matt thought about it, but yeah, it's a classic for a reason. But do you remember Dwight Fry from the original Dracula? That laugh that he had. That
No.
Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, he imitates that laugh perfectly. Now, Dwight Fry was the guy who played Renfield in the original Universal Dracula, right?
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about now.
He was also in Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. Most people remember that character as Igor, but his name is actually Fritz.
Yeah, I remember that.
Igor is actually a different character. Igor is actually Bela Lugosi in Son of Frankenstein. But for some people, always think Igor is the guy with the hunchback. No, it's not, right?
Fritz,
but anyway, Dwight Fry made his career playing these fucking lunatics and creeps and grave robbers and shit. And Nicholas Hoult, I mean, it's clearly like this is set in the universe of the Universal movie in a sense.
Yeah, totally, dude.
And that's a definition of familiar.
Like, what if they made the Wolfman, like a Wolfman or Frankenstein in this same exact structure as this?
That would be great. Well, you know what? No, you know what I think? I think they should bring them back as horror characters. They should be balls out horror movies. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that to me is the answer. Take those characters and make them scary again because you can.
Yeah.
It just takes the right filmmakers. So find the right filmmakers.
It can be done. It's just hard.
It could absolutely
But
be
it can
done, but it needs a visionary behind it. It needs like a
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro or someone like that.
Yeah.
Not, like he could do one of the movies and then, he would hire the right guys.
Right, and oversee it. Because there's
And
a lot
oversee it.
of dudes out there that can pull it off. You know what
There's
I mean?
a lot of guys that could
A lot
pull
of
it off.
dudes out there.
But Universal's got their heads up their ass at the same time. Hey, we're getting this. We're getting the Voyage of the Demeter. At least we're getting some Dracula.
I think that one, like that, possibly, like we were talking, like Voyage, like that movie might have the formula. You know what I mean? To make something of a universe. This looks so cool, though, man.
Yeah, this is where sorry, slight spoiler. You get to hear Nicolas Cage. You get to hear Nicolas Cage as Dracula go, "Hail Satan!" Okay, so in my opinion,
that checks out.
In my opinion, that's worth the price of admission. Right there. So yeah, Renfield, pleasant surprise. Was not expecting to enjoy it. Don't expect something awesome or earth-shaking because you ain't gonna get it. But if you just want to have like fucking 90 minutes of like just pretty much pure fun,
popcorn, Coke, the movies,
absolutely,
a good horror fucking comedy.
Yeah, I would say more of a rental than a theatrical. Yeah. I'd give it like a 7. I give it 3 stars.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's good. It's good. Better than dude, because like your hopes were up here and mine were like down here.
Right. Now I'm worried. I'm like, fuck, Brian likes it. I hope I like it too.
Hey, if you don't, dude, if you
usually
don't,
like I like
you're my enemy for life.
And vice versa, and sometimes we connect on stuff we like.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Like something. I'm very intrigued. I think I'm gonna like it. I'm like pretty sure.
Yeah, I've got a dude. It's Nicolas Cage Dracula. Chewing up the fucking scenery. Chewing up the fucking scenery.
It's like, oh, dude. Like, they're the type of guys where I'll watch, like, their movies. Like, even Liam Neeson, like, oh, this motherfucker's got a movie on here. I will find you. You know what I mean? And I will
he's great.
I'll watch any of those, like, Taken-esque movies if they pop up, like, on Amazon. Like, this motherfucker better be chopping and kicking some motherfuckers. You better not be just,
because that's what you're going there for.
The whole movie. What's up?
Dude, that's what you're going there for, right? There's a reason.
I want to see him fight. Yeah.
There's a reason why fast food franchises, which used to be good, by the way, back in the 70s, like Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's.
Dude, you would not
before
believe
they turned
how
to
much
shit.
I spent at Chick-fil-A today. You wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
You want to know how much I spent today?
How much?
In California for 4 meals and like a side of chicken nuggets?
Yeah.
$63.
Damn.
It's like that.
Yeah. Wow. But at least that's something you can eat that's not nasty.
Yeah,
that's not, you don't feel like you're poisoning yourself.
My kid out of the hospital, so we're like, we're going to eat something we're trying to eat something quick and that's decent, that's fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, that sounds good, Daddy, So it's like that, but it's like, fuck, dude, that shit's stupid expensive, bro.
Well, yeah, it's like, hard to find eggs where I'm at right now,
Really?
But hey, shut the fuck up, tighten your belt, because the military-industrial complex, Lockheed and Boeing, they need that money. We all need to sacrifice right now.
Yeah.
Proxy war in the Ukraine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to shut the fuck up. I need to shut the fuck up. Pops
what about your eggs?
Everybody needs to shut the fuck up.
Fried eggs. Stop boiling your eggs for your tuna salad. Nah.
Yeah, man.
It ain't gonna work like that. Stop microwaving your eggs. You don't need no microwave eggs.
We're such idiots for paying super high taxes and not even getting clean drinking water.
My money? We need to suck it up. Another country. Can I have my money, please? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no shit. Oh man, yeah. Real quick, we're going to take a look at the trailer. Don't worry, pause it. I'm going to pause it periodically, but this was a movie that, as I said, caused a real frickin' stir when it first came out. I saw it in its theatrical re-release in, I think it was 1998.
Damn.
This was at Film Forum in Manhattan, in New York City, right? And Scorsese was actually there. And he was the one who supervised the restoration of this movie. And so it was kind of like when Vertigo was one of those movies that was often disregarded, thought of as like one of Hitchcock's lesser films.
Yeah.
Now it's considered the greatest movie ever made.
Right.
Literally, it's literally bumped Citizen Kane out of the top spot. Right?
Crazy.
Rightfully so, I think. I always thought Citizen Kane was a little overrated. Great movie, top 10, no fucking way. But yeah, sort of the same thing happened with this movie, because when it came out, it caused a clusterfuck of controversy. And we've had things like this in the modern age. American Psycho, I think, is probably the closest thing I can imagine to what happened with this, because when this movie came out, it rustled some jimmies, shall we say. Let's take a look at this trailer. Now, obviously, the name of the movie is Peeping Tom, so naturally, the movie is going to have a theme of voyeurism.
Sergeant, I've been on the force 30-odd years, and I've never seen such fear on anyone's face as on this girl's. What was it she saw?
So, this is 1960. This is a movie about a serial killer who suffers from sceptophilia, also known as voyeurism, or Peeping Tomism.
Mark, you crazy?
Yes. You think they'll notice?
Yeah, and the cast in this, that's Karl Boheim, by the way, who's a German actor who has despite having grown up in England, his character has a German accent, but it's one of those things. It's like, it's an incongruity that you don't notice, because his performance in this is just absolutely hypnotic.
Who's that chap from upstairs?
Did you read about that girl that was murdered last night? Same thing nearly happened to me. Oh, when? Last night.
You'll also notice that this trailer has a jazz soundtrack, and the film has a jazz soundtrack. And I've seen horror movies that have jazz soundtracks before. What's his face? Fucking Jess Franco. His horror movies often have jazz soundtracks, but that's also because his horror movies are kind of wacky, shall we say?
How long is it since you've gone out without that?
Without what?
That camera. You belong there. I feel as if I know him. Now, darling. It's here.
Yeah. This movie deals with the theme of voyeurism, also in this case with a character who's a type of voyeur, but with her ears, because she's blind. And this movie is very much about voyeurism, not just as a kind of psychological malady, but also, voyeurism that's very much natural, or part of the human process. I think that's one of the reasons why this movie really pissed people off, is because it's basically kind of looking at you and saying, okay, well, aren't you kind of like a voyeur for watching this?
Come on, scream.
Oh, that's one of the more chilling scenes in the film. Why am I? Oh, well, that's right. I'm blanking on the name of the actress, because, of course, I have to. Anna Massey. Anna Massey is she plays a character called Helen Stevens in this, who's a young lady. She's just turned 21. Not conventionally beautiful, but cute, certainly. And let's just say that she falls in love with the wrong guy.
Cut!
It's a French trailer. Yeah, that was, I guess, for for one of its re-releases. Let me bring up some of the movie posters, because this has got some really, really good ones. You know, we're comic book people here, we're art lovers here, and just one of the things I just got in the habit of doing is, when I'm looking for like stills to share, coming across some of the poster art, which is often beautiful. I especially love like the modern ones, like the fan posters that people do. Those are really cool. I'm not sure. I don't think I have any here. This is for the French DVD release, I'm guessing, or for the French theatrical re-release.
Le Voyeur.
Le Voyeur. Yep, Peeping Tom. And this is a cool one right here. The Japanese posters are always cool because they use photographs. They're not paintings, but they use photographs in a very kind of painterly way.
Mm.
Right? Wouldn't you say, like the composition of them?
Yeah, it's a weird composition too. It just travels down the side like a book spine.
Right. And it has a very lurid feel to it, which is, apropos. I think this is the original poster. You notice the X certificate?
Yeah.
Right? Which of course meant adults only in England at the time. It wasn't necessarily associated with pornography the way that it was here. Of course, this being a movie about voyeurism, it's also about prawn. You have to watch out for them. You hate it that on YouTube we have to like talk like baby talk so that we don't get yanked. I'm fucking sick of that shit, man. That's a pretty good one. Oh yeah, this was for the re-release in 1998. Martin Scorsese presents.
Right. Martin Scorsese.
Yeah. And one of the things I love about Scorsese, I've never met him, but evidently he's one of those guys. And I always got that feel from him that he's like Romero was, and what Stephen King is like just a dude. Somebody who is, like this, well-renowned filmmaker who is also, first and foremost, a fan.
I heard he was like part of this like group or committee where he was trying to like preserve like a lot of film, like a lot of old movies.
Oh, dude,
familiar with that?
Yeah. The Night of the Living Dead restoration was overseen by him, because that's one of the reasons we really love fucking Martin Scorsese is he's a horror dude.
Yeah,
he's
he
one
needs
of
to make
us.
some fucking horror movies before he passes away. He needs to get
I know
some fucking horror movies.
It's and it's funny because like the dude was asked. I mean, I remember as a kid reading an interview with him, and I think it was Film Comment, which was one of the snootier film magazines that I subscribed to, right? Because I had the fanzines and everything, but I liked some of the snootier shit too, like the AFI, the American Film Institute magazine was pretty good. Occasionally there'd be like they'd have like a big article on the making of Conan the Barbarian or something like that, right? So I could deal with some of the snootier shit. And he wrote an essay about the films of David Cronenberg before David Cronenberg was famous.
Before he was Cronenberg?
But exactly. And he was explaining like, I told this friend of mine, it was like after Rabid came out. He's like, yeah, I just saw this great movie. What's it about? Well, it's about this woman who gets into like a motorcycle accident. And then she has like a penis that comes out of her armpit and she drinks people's blood with it. And the guy was like, what the fuck? And also asked in like interviews, like, well, how do you get prepared before you make a movie? He's like, I'll usually watch some movies in preparation, usually like, like a Hammer horror movie or like a Mario Bava. I was like,
well, it's crazy too, because like I heard like on some of the movies that he has like this like exquisite like amount of detail like for every little thing, especially like on Gangs in New York. I heard that one. Like he like everything down like. Actually, no, it wasn't on that one. It was another one where he just knows like what every little character is wearing in the whole movie, like this vast like knowledge of all the stuff that he's going to do that doesn't even matter for the film, whatnot. But I'm like, wow, I would love to see him do that with a horror movie. He does have like a lot of horrific things like happen in his mafia movies, right?
here's the
Like,
thing.
fucked up shit,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like
Taxi
horror,
Driver
like-
in particular. Yeah.
Taxi Driver, Casino, like the cornfield.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff in Goodfellas, some of the stuff in
He's
Gangs
one
of
of
New
those
York.
guys.
There's some gore, you know.
He's
So.
one of those guys, like Cormac McCarthy's like that too, right? He's
Hmm.
not a horror writer, but whenever I read his books, or if you watch the films that are based on his books, you're like, this is not horror, but this guy loves horror.
Yeah, he's putting some horror,
You can tell.
amps in here.
He's wearing it on his sleeve, and
Yeah.
that is the way Scorsese is too. The
Mm.
guy loves fucking horror. Here's the thing. I have always been a horror guy to the core, and yet I haven't been very good at writing it. And I'm hoping that's going to change, right, with that graphic novel that I got coming out, Abraxas.
Mm.
But I could also understand why he would want to be like, because that's the thing. I don't think you're always necessarily talented at doing the things you want to be talented at.
Right.
And it could be that he's one of those guys.
Yeah. Sometimes
You
you
know?
just got to take a crack at the shit you love, though. You know what I mean?
Pedro Almodovar is another one.
Even if you might be better at something else, you still got to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Fellini, when he was retired, he said one of his great regrets was that he never made a horror film.
Yeah. See, fuck that. You know, you gotta do it. You know what I mean? You gotta do it. Even if you're better at other shit, you got to do it. You know, if you're a guitar player and you want to sing, fucking sing. You know what I mean?
Yes. What's the worst thing that could happen? You fuck up.
Exactly.
Everybody whiffs at the fucking plate.
And it's fun. You had a fun time doing it for a little bit, whether it be however long, you know, and you'll feel better about it too. I love the shot right here. Fuck. And I was staring at it. Is that a painting? Is that forced perspective? Is there miniatures? Is there bigatures? You know, is it set in the background of painting? Oh man, I love this shot.
Right? And immediately you know that you're not looking at the real world.
Yeah, definitely.
Immediately, right. The composition and everything. It's obviously a set. It's obviously bigatures in the back.
Yeah, bigatures.
And there's something about movies that are that are shot entirely on sets. Although this isn't one of those. This has some exteriors. But movies that are shot entirely on sets, they feel more dreamlike.
Dreamlike and magical.
Yes, very much so. Because, of course, you're not looking at something that is even really necessarily trying to be an accurate representation of reality. It's not trying to fool you. So, yeah, when the picture opens, we have... Now, some people mistakenly believe this is the very first POV, killer's POV movie ever made. Some people said, I think in Scream 6 or something, they're like, oh yeah, Peeping Tom, that's like the very first movie that opens with like the killer's POV. It's actually not true. It was done in The Lodger in 1944 by John Bram. And if you've never seen that, that's a movie about a lodger, a guy who's renting a room who turns out to be Jack the Ripper.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you've never seen that, check that out, brother. That's a really, really good horror movie. And it actually, and also, like this, you end up actually feeling pretty bad for the villain. You actually end up feeling, like you could tell that basically this is somebody that's a slave of forces that, beyond their control. So the killer walks up to this prostitute, and you see him take the box in which the film came in, Kodak, 16 millimeter, throws it in the garbage, filming that booty. And man, when he gets in the room with this prostitute, she starts taking her clothes off, and it's just like the least sexy thing you could possibly imagine.
Right?
It's somebody that's undressing because they're getting ready to have sex with you, and they're not thrilled about it.
It's like put in the time.
Exactly. She's on the clock, right? Which to me always defeated the purpose of prostitutes in the first place. Do you know what I mean?
Hell.
It's like, oh, who we got in the chat? Oh, Carrie. Oh, what's up? Good to see you, darling. But yeah, that's why I never like. And I'm somebody that believes that prostitution should be legal. I just don't get it because it's to me that's I'd rather just beat off, right? You know what I'm saying?
God.
Seriously, it's just god, it's just so awkward, right? And that's what I love about this scene. It's just so creepy and awkward. And the killer, of course, has a camera secreted on his person, and is filming her. She suddenly realizes that she's being filmed, but also that she's about to be murdered.
And yeah, you find out at the end of the movie why she's so terrified.
Yes. This does have a little bit of a twist ending. We are going to give that away at some point. So, spoiler alert. But we're also, before we talk about that, we will drop like an official spoiler, and then we're watching the killer watching the film. Now, a lot of people think that this movie freaked people out because it's like, oh my god, he's making snuff films,
right?
But these aren't snuff films.
Yeah.
These are trophies.
For him, yeah, definitely.
Right? I'm not sure, but like, you know how you were talking about how James Wan has this talent for making movies about Batman villains?
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
Which is something that didn't occur to me, but you're spot fucking on. It's just like, yeah, like Jigsaw, Batman villain, Malignant. Oh my god, total
Batman villain, The Collector, Batman villain,
right?
Yeah.
This feels to me like the birth of the Thomas Harris villain. Thomas Harris, the guy who wrote Red Dragon, which was followed by Silence of the Lambs, which was followed by Hannibal, which I think was followed by Hannibal Rising.
Yeah.
If you haven't read the original Red Dragon, that was a game changer.
That was a good movie too. A lot of people are like, but I like all those movies, to be honest.
I haven't seen it. I've seen Manhunter, the first film version of it. People tell me that the second one, that's actually called Red Dragon, that's good, but I have like such a hard on against Brett Ratner. That's like literally like the reason why I've avoided watching it.
Yeah, he's kind of cringe, but for me, it was before that. Like before he was cringe, I guess. You know.
Well, I mean,
and I just watched the movie. Like, you know, I thought it was all right, and then I seen Manhunter, and like I know Manhunter, like everybody's like, oh, Michael Mann and fucking Brian Cox and da. For me, it's just like, yeah, no, I need my Anthony Hopkins. I need him fucking doing this. You know what I mean? Like delivering that, you know, and Rafe Fiennes does a great job in there. You know what I mean?
As Dollarhide, right?
Yeah, he's better. I'm sorry. He is better than fucking I forgot Wilkinson or whatever his name is.
Tom Noonan.
Tom Noonan from fucking Monster Squad. He's good, but he's just not on that. He's just not, Rafe is just such a fucking good villain. You know what I mean? Before Voldemort, before Hades. I don't know.
I'll watch it one of these days. I'll watch it one of these days. Like I said,
Harvey Keitel's fucking in there. Like I don't know. It was decent. You know, it was a decent. Edward Norton. Like it's good. It's better in my opinion. It's just like
right.
Like I'll get whipped for it, but it's just a little more entertaining for me.
No, well, I mean, here's the thing about Manhunter. It's an excellent movie, but it's a thriller.
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs. That's a horror movie.
Yeah, this one
they're different in tone, and
and
there's a really great series that was on the BBC called Luther.
Horror movie, dude, for sure. Red Dragon is definitely, you know, and it's got a little, you know, and he's stalking fucking, you know, Norton. Obviously, it's the same as Manhunter, but again, and I love some fucking Collateral and some Last Mohicans. You know what I mean?
Oh man,
Heat. I got all those motherfuckers on DVD, but at the end of the day, and Brett Ratner, whatever, he's fucking cringe. But it's
right.
Me,
well, the reason they hired him is because he's good at imitating other directors.
You gotta get the job done. You know, you gotta.
So evidently, he directed that like as if he was like tried to trick people into thinking it was Jonathan Demme.
Right.
Which is fine, I guess. You know, I'll watch it one of these days.
Almost like in that universe. You know what I mean? In some ways.
Yeah. But here's the thing about the Thomas Harris villains. They're deeply sympathetic. And I know that that's a thing that's really cringe that you see in a lot of like today's modern comics. Oh, yeah. The villains, they're not bad. They're just misunderstood because the people writing those characters think like villains because they're pretty much fucking sociopaths. Sorry, you know? When they write heroes, they write them like villains.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this was so I would describe these villains as not misunderstood villains. They're tragic villains.
Yeah.
They
Definitely.
are products of their environment. They are the way they are because this was done to them.
Yeah. They're molded
Right?
and sculpted.
Somebody did this to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they have to be stopped.
Yeah, there's no point. I mean, you got a fucking zombie coming at you trying to eat you. At some point, people just, like sad things, like they're sad and there's fucked up things these people are doing and they've had a bad story. But at the end of the day, like, I don't want this motherfucker taking a bite out of my kid. They gotta be put down.
Yes.
You gotta draw a
Look,
line.
that's how I felt about Dahmer.
Yeah.
I like take the guy and bury him under the prison, but give him a nice couch, cable TV, porn, video games, whatever. Right? Where it's not about punishing that person, it's about keeping them away from the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean that's how
I see
that's one way you could look at it. For me, like again, I take it the other way. Like if it's that bad,
yeah,
they need to be taken off the planet.
Gacy, I think
that's my opinion. Like I have no mercy. Like you know what I mean. Even if fucked up shit happened to them, like they're a product of their environment. But they're not allowed on the planet no more.
Yeah, well, I mean, look,
that's just my opinion.
No, and that's totally cool. That's totally cool. I just don't believe in capital punishment because I don't trust the state to deal with that shit. But honestly, if I just happen to come across, if I just happen to be underneath
justice,
doing some work underneath the crawl space underneath John Wayne Gacy's house, yeah, dude, you got about 20 dead kids under there.
Yeah.
Oh, you handcuff them to to a sink and then just bent them over and did stuff.
I got a solution for that.
Yeah,
I got a solution
sorry.
for those people.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I got a solution. See, I'm not about problems. I'm about solutions, right?
Yeah.
I look at it like this. They do a lot of illegal experimentation on regular citizens.
Yeah, sure do.
Just do that shit to them.
Yeah, but it wouldn't work.
Yeah, but you can't have the state doing that shit. You can't have the state deciding that.
They already do it.
More money in my pocket.
I mean, look, we've all
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know.
medication at some point that we didn't know what it was going to do to us. They didn't know either.
Right.
That's them experimenting on us, and they've been doing it forever, dude.
I
Come
know.
on.
Yeah, I mean, that is. I mean, you could do some of that. Like maybe see if the shampoo works on the motherfucker's head.
If they're getting life in prison anyway,
leave the monkey over there.
See, this is the liberal in me. That's the liberal in me. I'm like,
see how long it burns his head for. I'm down with that for a little bit, but eventually,
no way, brother.
In prison anyway, test that shit on them.
See you later, bye.
Yeah, see, that's the liberal part of me. Just no, can't do it. But do I understand the gotta go sentiment? Yeah, I certainly do. I think
I always bring down the zombie thing. Like, do I want this guy biting a fucking chunk out of my kid's arm? They are not allowed on this planet. You put a bullet in your head, you shoot him in space.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Whatever you gotta do. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I agree, but I don't agree with the government doing that shit. But if you just happen to come across, fucking somebody with 25 kids buried in the crawl space under their house, yeah, you take shit into your own hands. I think the community and the law should look the other way.
You know what's funny?
What up, Frankie?
What up, Frankie? Like my grandpa was a cop, right?
Right, yeah. We experiment on it. You could turn him into a fucking supervillain. Yeah, y'all didn't think about that shit, did you?
I did. I don't care.
Yeah. What if they're the indestructible man, Lon Chaney Jr.? Next thing you know, the guy's marching through a fucking city and fucking sucking the electricity out of everything and fucking destroying entire city blocks.
The right city, Washington D.C.
One time,
oh my god,
allegedly a story I heard. My grandpa told me that one time he found a fucking, I don't know, it was a pedo or some shit in a theater, right? That's what he told me. And he fucking just fed him to the alley where all the fucking parents were and left him there. And they were all out there ready for him. And they took care of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some vigilante shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just wow, that's fucking awesome, dude. That's a good story, you know?
No, it is. No, it is.
Yeah.
And I actually don't. You know what? Like I said, I'm a peacenik, but I'm not a pacifist. I mean, I think if I was there and I saw some violence about to go down, I might want to intervene. But it might also be possible that I might be like, well, you
brought that shit on yourself.
I brought that shit on yourself. Don't write a fucking check that your ass can't cash.
Why are we doing this right now? Oh, he did that. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. No, I mean,
no,
like
that happens too. You don't know. You just don't know. You get up and like, everybody's beating the fuck out of somebody. Like, oh my god, what are you doing to this guy? You get up. Oh, it's
okay.
him.
All right, carry on.
Carry on.
Yeah. No. I agree. Yeah, I agree with that too. So our killer, who's played by Carl Boehm, we still really haven't seen too much of his face. He ends up going back to the scene of the crime, which we know is a thing that killers do. Except, of course, in his case, he's filming, and what he's doing is he's creating more trophies. He says that he's a documentary filmmaker, and as it turns out, he is sort of making a movie. We discover. Mark is the character's name, and he works as a photographer and a cameraman in what was then basically the British version of Hollywood, and he also is a smut merchant. And this is really interesting because this is how pornography used to be sold in England in like the late 1950s. You would go into like a shop, right? Like a smoke shop, stationery, place that sold cigarettes and newspapers. And that's one of the things I love about this scene is it captures like a moment in time and a culture's particular approach to something. In this case, smut. And so, right?
Smut.
And yeah, here Mark notices that his victim is on the cover of the Daily Mirror, and it's an interesting shot where he's like spreading them out so that there's like 4 images of her, and then he's just like watching this old fellow. I forget the name of the actor, but he's in some old Hammer movies. He's just like, yeah, I'll take like the Times, and I've heard you've also got like these other pictures. And the guy's like, oh, you mean these? He's like, oh, okay. And so he's looking over the smut, a binder of smut. And then this little girl comes in and says like, oh, like, I'll take like a candy bar, here's like, the $2 or whatever it is. And, and she goes skipping out the door. And homeboy here is in a
Alfred
safe
Hitchcock
space.
on a fucking diet ass face looking motherfucker.
Yep. This actor was in a lot of comic roles because he had like a very rubbery face. And so he's just like, yeah, how much for the lot? Like, I want all this porn. And so
educational.
Yeah, so he puts it in. Yeah, so the proprietor puts all the smut in an envelope marked educational books, because I think there was a loophole at the time that that pornography was taking, where it was just like, oh, these are naturist magazines or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Geographic type shit.
Well, you see the calendars on the wall behind.
Exactly.
Stuff,
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
This
right.
is arts.
Books.
So,
and yeah.
Right. Because
I mean,
here's the thing that you have to understand about the English. The English are renowned for being uptight, but they're uptight Europeans. And so, although they're uptight for Europeans, they're nowhere near as uptight as we are. So you've got like some topless models there, like nobody gives a fuck. But it's also not the sort of thing that a gentleman wants to be seen with or advertise.
Like,
right?
Don't forget your daily newspaper.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he actually forgets the newspaper. The thing he presumably came in there for.
Carrie begs to differ.
Huh? Wait, hold on. Let me see. What? Oi, excuse me. I'm not uptight. No, I said English are uptight for Europeans. And man, I've known some ladies from across the pond, and they're worse than most guys. Like seriously, the downright disgraceful behavior, and the way that these chicks party. Really, they're just like worse than guys are here. So it turns out that homeboy here is running a smut operation upstairs. That's where the photographs are coming from, right?
The focus is not perfect. The poor focus is not perfect.
Yes. Yeah. So Mark comes in, and you see that they've got a smut factory going. And this model is hanging out, looking very cute in her little cowboy hat. And they're setting up a photo shoot with this young lady. Now, think about this. This is the stuff that was considered shocking back then. Right? The smut from back then, it's softcore pornography. It's, you look at it now, and it's quaint.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing nasty about it. It's it's the early days. So, Mark is doing his job, and this model is just like, like, call blimey, you're a mystery. And she's kind of like flirting with him because, he certainly is a shy and reserved fellow. And then we get this moment where he's about to photograph the other model, and she turns, and you see that she has a ugly scar at the top of the corner of one of her lips that basically makes it look like she's sneering. And not only is her face involuntarily sneering, she's also sneering with her eyes. And he looks at her, and he's just like, oh, his knees buckle.
Yeah.
Right? He's just like, yo, right? Very taken with her. And he's just like, it's like, no, like, because she's like, probably don't want to shoot this side of my face. That's why I'm here, is because, they don't have to shoot your face. It's not what people are looking at. And he's like, but it's what I want to look at. And then suddenly she gets this look in her eyes where they soften. They're not sneering anymore. And you could tell that she's kind of struck by the fact that he actually finds her beautiful. So then we cut to the house where he lives, which turns out to have been his father's house. And down below, Helen Stevens, played by Anna Massey, is having her 21st birthday party. And it's a really great moment where he's looking through the window, right? And suddenly, it's like some of the people at the party here, they notice him, but she feels him before she notices him, right? Like, she does this thing with her spine where she suddenly kind of stands up straight. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, she's kind of like has her back turned, and then she goes.
Well, you just know, like, it's a primal, like, feel, like, when someone's fucking looking at you. Like, for me, like, when I'm driving now, a lot of the time when I know a motherfucker's going to turn out and turn right in front of me, I'll stare him right in the fucking face. They just know. They out of nowhere, they just know. They know the eyes are beating down on them, so they pull back and they don't go.
Yeah. It's freaky, isn't it? Carrie says, the women say core blimey and the guys say yo. What kind of mismatched story are you telling? Sorry about that. Hey, what can I say? What can I say? I'm a cross-cultural kind of. Core blimey. Well, here's the thing. I got friends from the UK, and I grew up watching Masterpiece Theatre. I ended up watching a lot of PBS, mostly because of Monty Python's Flying Circus. That's what got me into that shit. I can understand most British people until look, you got to show even like the original version of The Office. It's like I can understand basically about 98% of what people are saying, except every now and then I'm like, huh, what? What? So the way I translate that is, call blimey, Governor. Danny Dyer is like the fucking worst offender when it comes to that shit. I hate that motherfucker, man. But yeah, so she feels him, his eyes on her, and of course, pretty intense gaze for sure. And these guys are kind of mocking him out, but she goes out and basically extends her hand in friendship and strikes up a conversation with him, and you see his attitude soften immediately. Yeah. And that's one of the things that's really tragic about this movie, is that it's actually really kind of a love story. And so, she's like, come join the party. And he's just like, yeah, no way. Homeboy is a introvert to the extreme. I mean, he's somebody
after Psycho or before Psycho.
This is literally, I think, a year before Psycho. And that is significant too, because the films are similar in tone. I think Psycho came out shortly after this, actually. I think it came out the same year. And so, like, was Psycho inspired by this? No way. It was, if there are any similarities, and certainly Mark does bear some similarities to
Norman Bates.
There is no connection there. This is just like when
just
there's something in the zeitgeist and the voyeurism.
But like he was more of a perv. This guy's not a pervert. I just think
he kind of is
in some ways, but he is. But I don't know. Like for me, he's just looking for that good shot, and he also wants to see the victim, like their response to, like, he wants to see him frightened. You know what I mean? And that's because of the system that he's been put in as a child. You know what I mean?
Right.
Turned him into this monster.
Right, because his father basically tortured him when he was a child as part of a cruel experiment. And we're going to get into, check this out. This is one of the reasons why this movie was banned. It's worth mentioning. I don't think I've mentioned it yet. This movie was in theaters for 5 days.
Damn.
They yanked it from the theaters. The critics were so pissed, they yanked this out of the movie theaters. That's how severe the reaction to this was. And one of the things that people, Powell's fellow filmmakers and critics, because he got it from everybody, basically everybody turned against him all at once. That is to say, the critics went after him. They went after this movie. They said it was filthy, immoral. I got some quotes here. Vincent Canby from the New York Times. He said, when Michael Powell's Peeping Tom was originally released in England in 1960, the critics rose up like a bunch of furious Reverend Davidsons to condemn it on moral grounds. It stinks, one critic wrote. Another said it should be flushed down the sewer, and a third dismissed it haughtily as, quote, perverted nonsense, unquote.
I would just recommend this movie for, like, people that liked Psycho at that time. Like, this is a equally, like, good movie,
Right?
Not really like Psycho, but just different,
Very, very much so. And
good horror movie of that, like, style,
Absolutely. This is a movie where if you like Psycho, you're probably going to like this. A little added comment from Canby. He says, there is nothing angrier than a critic when he can be safely outraged. And, the critics were very much not happy. And one of the things that they really were offended by is that the young version of Mark is played by Michael Powell's actual son.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right? So we see the boy lying in bed. And basically Mark, as a birthday present to Helen, is showing him some films. The ones that his father made, where he's like doing really fucked up shit to him, like terrorizing him in bed, dropping lizards onto the bed, and then filming his terrified reaction. And you see this shimmer on his face. It looks almost like a flashlight. And that's the one mystery in this, right? Because there is no mystery. We know who's doing the murders. And we even know why he's doing the murders. He's been driven psychotic and is not dealing with his trauma by basically doing what was done to him, but in an even more horrific way. Because one of the things that happens with people who have fixations or fetishes is they have to keep upping the ante, right? They need a heavier and heavier dose as they become more and more jaded. So critics were basically accusing Michael Powell of abusing his son in the making of this movie.
That's
now,
lame.
Dude, they in interviews, Powell's son, this young lad here, when he grew up, when people brought that up, he laughed.
Yeah, no shit. It's like, dude, I'm
He
making
said
a movie, bro. Like,
yeah, it was. Yeah, he said that the accusations were absolutely laughable. That he remembers having a lot of fun doing this.
right.
And yeah, while they're watching this, Mark starts caressing his camera, and not like in an erotic way. It's like he's trying to comfort his I don't know, trying to comfort himself, or maybe comfort his.
That's like his teddy bear, dude. You know, that's why
Right?
he's always carrying it around with him, like ready to shoot something. That's his comfort zone. That's his comfort totem. You know, he needs it all the time. He needs to film something all the time. He sees a good shot, a good perspective, a good lighting. If he doesn't have the lighting right, it fucking, oh, so the lighting is not right. I fucked up the perspective. It's not good. Oh, like he needs to have something with them all the time. He needs to have that keepsake, you know?
Yes.
Because
Because his father filmed his entire childhood.
Yep.
So he was always on the other side of the camera until then finally his father buys him one. And this is a really horrific moment where his younger self is filmed walking into a room, and you kind of know it immediately that he's looking at his dead mother lying in her bed. And his father is, of course, right there with a camera up in his face to immortalize the moment. And then it turns out that his father remarried 6 weeks after his mother died.
Like, that was sus as fuck. Like, did you murder your wife?
Right?
Was she sick? Did you poison her? Obviously, you were fucking around on her because that's 6 weeks. 6 months is already sus. But when you say 6 weeks, it's like, okay, dude. I get he murdered his.
I'm pretty sure you murdered your wife.
He murdered her as part of the experiment. And
I
for
think
me,
so too.
that was the threshold of turning his son into a psycho killer. I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Under the what's the word? His son didn't know. I forget. The obvious word is escaping me right now of what the son experienced, knowing that his father killed his mother. I think he knew the whole time, and then that he was part of the experiment of the terror and the shock.
Right. And that, how's that not going to, first of all, a boy losing his mother at that age is going to be traumatic enough. If he suspects, and he probably did, that his father had something to do with it, even a kid, because he mentions it's like, oh yeah, and then in came her replacement. Yeah, and you're thinking like, oh, well, okay, so his father got married again, so he's going to have a negative view of the stepmother. No, 6 weeks after his mother died.
Yeah.
Right? That's the important part. It's not 6 months, it's not 6 years, it's 6 fucking weeks. The body wasn't even cold. And,
exactly. And then he hands him a camera too. Like, let's make a new chapter or a new, part of this documentary of the study of you. So I'm terrifying you. I'm doing everything in my power to terrify you. Now here's a camera. What are you going to do? And I'm going to document you in the process as well.
Yes. That's exactly it, Matt. That's exactly it. Well said, sir. This is actually Michael Powell playing Mark's father.
Oh, really?
So this is another. So that was like one of the things that was, absolutely unacceptable. This guy was not only torturing his son on camera, but he was appearing like on camera, like terrorizing his son, psychologically abusing his son. Bitches, here's the thing about censors.
It's a movie. It's like, are you guys like thinking he's the actual character that he's directing? Like, dude, separate the fucking movie. It ain't even the art from the artist, motherfucker. It's separate the movie from the director. You know, separate the actor from the movies.
It's like Cronenberg said. It's like Cronenberg said it best. He said censors tend to do this thing where they confuse reality, fantasy with reality. You know who else does that? Schizophrenics.
Yeah, dude. It's like, get out of the movies for a while. Like, that's your job, right? You gotta fucking.
You realize
you gotta watch movies all the time, dude. You gotta watch dreams and magic all the time. Go outside and take a walk. Go walk your dog. Go play some frisbee. You know.
But they should know better than anybody.
Exactly.
That it's an illusion.
It's like, you have a Stockholm syndrome in your job. Like,
what the fuck?
What are you tripping on?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's completely insane. So yeah, then he shows off these are all the books that his father wrote. Yeah, Fear in the Nervous System, the Physiology of Fear, Essays on Fear, 2 fucking volumes. Fear. And so yeah, as a result, he is committing murders himself. He gets this poor gal who's just a stand-in, and yeah, I love that. Like he mentions, he puts the red light on. That means nobody's going to walk through that door, because if you're at a studio and the red light is on and you just come barging in, that's your ass. But I don't find it interesting that the title card here is for the production is the walls are closing in, and so we see what his weapon is here. It's his tripod. And what he does is he pulls the end of the tripod off so that there's a bladed weapon at the end. Basically, he's taken the tripod and he's turned it into a spear. I know, like, a lot of Freudians, they're people that, you know, they see a phallic symbol and anything that's elongated or hollow. This is definitely a phallic symbol. Wouldn't you agree? Right? The way he pulls it up and click.
Yeah.
And I think that's once again one of the things that people were freaked out about. I think it's one of the things that makes this movie very transgressive, even though you really don't see the murders, do you?
Nah, there's no gore in it. There's no blood, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
You don't see anybody actually getting stabbed until the end of the movie, and we're not going to tell you who it is that gets stabbed. But yeah, he, very clearly he and Helen are falling in love. And I gotta say, man, the chemistry between the two and the two of them in this movie, I think, is incandescent. I think both of their performances, they are really the glue that holds this movie together. They're like the foundation for it. Because one of the things I think that makes this movie really special is that it's very emotional, isn't it?
Yeah, and the movie felt like it was at a time. Like, it doesn't feel like it was from the 60s. I don't know what fucking time, but it felt like very modern in some ways. You know what I mean?
Right?
I couldn't really, like, damn, this is 60. This is 1960, right?
Yep.
So it's definitely 1950, 58, 50, 59. This is a 50s movie. It's fucking crazy how good it looks. And I don't know, man. It's almost like they filmed a movie now and put all these, different
filters on
them and deep fakes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
This is what film restoration is all about. This is once again, one of the things I love about Scorsese as just a dude is that he's somebody who loves and cherishes film and that is very into film restoration. Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, Michael Powell's career was destroyed by this movie. One of the few people that actually gave him work later on in the 80s was Martin Scorsese. Because he had seen this and his other films and, just like anybody in the right mind was completely fucking blown away by this movie.
Yeah.
And wanted to learn from the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so gave him some work. God, I forget what his actual position was, but I know he was working for Scorsese.
Maybe like assistant director of photography or something. Who knows? Maybe he was doing a bunch of stuff for him. Just one of those dudes you went around like, hey, just hang out on set. You're my Swiss Army knife, big dog. You know what I mean? Here's a flat rate. I'll pay you. Like director of photography,
That sounds
set up
about
the
right.
lighting. Like I would just have them like Swiss Army in the fuck out of my productions.
Because think about it.
Director.
Right. It's just like you're a filmmaker. You want to get better. You're still learning, and they're just like, oh yeah, well here's this master over here, and he's not doing shit.
Yeah, sometimes you got those. Like at my last job, there was this dude that like worked. Like I worked at a warehouse, right, at an installer place. This dude sat there every day. He didn't even work for the company. He was just like on his phone most of the time in his ear, and he just chilled there in the shop. But if you want to know where anything was or have any questions about anything whatsoever, he fucking knew everything. He was a complete master. Have a good night.
Yeah, take care, Carrie. Thanks so much for tuning in. But
it's crazy. Like, there's people like that shit happens sometimes, Like,
human Swiss Army knife. I like that expression.
And the dude was down. Like he didn't even need to be there. Like he just sat in the shop. He didn't work in the shop or nothing. And he was just he had his phone. He was telling people what to do, but he was in the shop every day, just chilling there, in the warehouse, like because it was a warehouse and then like a place where you check out in the front, like a store. But he would just be up in there, boom, 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 what you need to do. Making his money, and he would have all the questions, and that could have been what he was doing with this director, chilling in the shop.
I'm inclined to think that that's accurate from what I heard, because I can't remember him doing anything specific.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
Yeah.
Like all the jobs you could do in a movie, like all the things you have to do and need to do. You know what I mean? And like,
oh my god,
maybe you cut him. Maybe the studio gives Scorsese a budget just for this guy. I need this guy on my set. He's part of the team. You have no idea all the stuff that he does and how much of a a viable asset he is to the production of said picture. I need him on the set. I need him on my
And he, I think, when he was in his 70s, ended up marrying one of the people in his company who was a woman, I think, in her like 20s or 30s, and.
He got game, dude. He was, who knows? He was good at his job and charming, probably. Who knows?
And when Scorsese found this out, he was like, "What?" But by all accounts, they had a really great marriage, and the way that she talks about him, it was, they just fell in love with each other, and so although Michael Powell got done dirty. At least towards the end of his life, the last chapter of his life, I think he was pretty happy because, dude, the idea of this movie destroying its director's career.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Like being canceled that early, like pre-cancellation.
I'd be like, I didn't write the shit.
Yeah, and actually, he didn't write the script. Actually,
staged it.
Yeah,
I just brought in the talent.
Like they hired me to do this. No,
they cut the check. Like, what you talking?
Yeah, it was. Well, look, this was very much a passion project for him. You could tell. It's a very passionate movie. Actually, I'm looking at my notes here, and Powell said that he didn't even see it as a horror movie. Sorry, homeboy, it's a fucking horror movie.
It's but like saying Joker. Like it's a character study. I could see them probably saying something like that, or.
It is, but it's also a fucking comic book movie. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
He said it's not a horror film. It's a film of compassion, of observation, and of memory. Yes. It's a film about the cinema from 1900 to 1960. Now, look, horror is, as a genre, full of compassion.
Right.
And one of the, it's like I said, like the older I get, the more I become convinced that horror as a genre, at least in cinema, is about childhood trauma.
Yeah, that could make sense because a lot of things stem from that. You know what I mean?
So much shit.
A lot of horror.
So much shit.
Just horror that has nothing to do with film and just life in general and different facets and genres and multimedia. It stems from childhood trauma.
Yeah, no, it really does. And, we're having worked in the Mental Health Association, having, gone to therapy and working with a fucking support group for 11 years. It's terrible because it's like the world tells you, oh, come on, bad shit happened to me too, get over it, but people can't. That's the thing. You can't. We wish we could just fucking snap our fingers, but that's the problem, is the shit gets branded into your fucking brain. Mm-hmm. And there are ways of helping. Like, for instance, you know, he does talk to this shrink who's brought on the set to help this actress deal with the fact that they just found a fucking murdered body
just
on the
comparing
set.
the color of the case to the hat, right? And
yes.
It's freaking her out. It's like, oh, the hat's blue. Oh, it's red. And she runs out.
Right. And then the director's like, okay, well, what should we do? Give her a half an hour? And he's just like, ain't gonna happen.
Shut it
ain't
down.
Gonna happen. No, she's gonna need weeks at least. So pack it up, forget about it. And it turns out that the doctor actually knew Mark's father, and is telling him, like, you know, about scoptophilia, which is like voyeurism, peeping Thomism, he says. And he's like, oh, well, like, can it be treated? Can it be cured? He's like, oh, yeah. You know, with like maybe about 6 months of therapy.
Yeah.
And so it just feels hopeless for him, you know. It's terrible because it's like he needs help. He knows he needs help, but he's already gone so far.
Yeah, he's past the point of no return. And the thing is, too, about him, like, I don't know how to put it. Like, at moments he's scary, you know?
Oh, my God. Intense.
But he's intense, but for me, he's not scary. He's just so charming. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
And for me, that's the scare. Like, I'm not, like, he's not scary to me in this film, but what he does is scary and terrifying.
Yes.
Like, you don't really, like, he's scariest at the last point of the movie in the fact of what he did and how he did it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Because
how he put the terror in their faces, the reason behind the terror of his victims, how they got that significant amount of terror in them for what he did. He's scarier at his most once the film is over and once he has been dealt with, you know. Through the movie, he's just charming. He's kind of like Anthony Perkins in Psycho. He's charming. But for me, like Anthony Norman, that scene when he gets Janet Leigh in the shower, to me that was terrifying. That shit was fucking scary. I didn't get any feelings of that in this movie too much till like the end. I'm like, ooh, that's like for me. I'm just like, this guy's creepy, dude. He's a fucking creep, you know. But obviously, you know, he has his reasons behind it. It's perfectly logical. I think probably the scariest scene and one of the additions to this movie is this lady here, the blind lady.
Yes. This scene, man.
What makes her scene in the movie is to me like the scariest scene, you know?
It is. And that's why
upstairs. Not this part, but upstairs.
when he shows her the film. But there's this wonderful moment where she's she's a voyeur in her own respect, even though she's blind. Like she says, blind people always know every inch of the room above them.
Yeah, above them. And she's in that room every night. She goes up in there. She's just slamming that Johnny Walker, too. Just sloshing it all over the fucking place. She's a fucking... you know what I mean?
You know what it is about her is she's getting her drink on, but she's never sloppy drunk. And she's just like, well, fuck, I'm blind. What else am I supposed to do?
Yeah. I mean, her hand was sloppy though in the beginning. I thought that was funny. Like it was literally like the fucking Johnny Walker's going on. I'm like, damn, she's fucking pounding that Johnny Walker. Dude.
Yeah. And there's a moment where she says, like, if you come back like in like 2 or 3 hours, you're not out till like it'll be before I'm fucking hitting the floor.
But she's like, she doesn't have slurred speech. She's not tripping over anything.
No,
right? She is a little sassy, you know. But she's not a fucking like, she's a lush, but she's not like like falling all over the place and shit. Right.
She's just somebody that drinks more than they should.
Exactly.
Not to the point of breaking furniture or puking or passing out or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's her crutch. It's how she's coping with being blind.
Oh, for sure. Dude.
Of course, whenever you're taking booze to cope with shit, it's always the last thing you should be doing, but people do it, and I did it for fucking decades.
Well, and in retrospect, you see what she knows of at the end of the movie, and now I'm thinking about that, oh fuck, she knew about him. Maybe she's fucking terrified, and she's slamming even more. You know what I mean? Because she always seemed a little on edge. You know what I mean? Like the whole movie, she's a little on edge and a little what's the word? Yeah, just on edge, and a little kind of snappy about him, and she knows he's there.
It's her instincts.
Her instincts,
right?
Yeah,
her spite
and her new profound instincts because of her being blind.
Right. Because by all indications, Mark is charming, even though he's like, some people would say, he's a little creepy or something like that because he's an introvert and a voyeur and everything. Carl Boehm just does an incredible job in this film of making you like this character. And, even like his mousiness and everything, it comes off the relationship between him and Helen is just charming. It's like the two of them. If this wasn't a horror movie, if this was like a romantic comedy or something like that, the two, they make a fantastic couple. But of course, this isn't a romantic comedy. This is a fucking horror movie.
Ain't a rom-com.
No, it definitely isn't. And
but it's damn good. It's a hard recommend on my side of the table.
Yeah. So you like this as much as I did?
Yeah, it's a classic, dude. Like there's so many good things to take away from this movie. A lot to be learned from it. It's a cool like piece of like cinema. It's a cool piece. It's a great time capsule of that era and what could be done with fucking film in 1959. I would say, because most of these movies took like probably a year or two to make. So they filmed it probably in 58, 59. Like, wow, this is a fucking horror movie from that time. Because you get, it's hard to get stuff like this, like as good as Psycho in that time. I think this is just as good as Psycho, in my humble opinion. The weapon he uses, fucking groundbreaking. Not just so much that the blade I thought was cool, but at the very end it has a really cool thing to it. I don't want to spoil it because should we spoil that, or should we just leave that for I guess we could. I don't really give a fuck. Like, we spoil shit sometimes.
We don't have to.
What mood they're in, but even the cop, the detective, he was like, I've seen people fucking scared out of their minds, when they
never like that
new terror, and so that's always cooking in the back of your brain, and that goes into the realization of what I said earlier about what is the scariest part of this character. It's that one extra thing about his weapon that happens to people before he enters them with his phallic monstrosity.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with his weapon.
And then the mom. What I liked it too is the mom. She had her own little thing at the end too, right?
Yes.
At the end of her stick, right?
Yes.
That was pretty cool. That was like a cool little, like, I got you, motherfucker. You ain't gonna hurt me. Like, she was gonna stab his ass. I thought that was a really cool, like, little. It was almost like a showdown in a way. You know what I mean?
It was.
She had a little knife on the end of her walking stick.
But that's the thing, right? Cool. Right, because she's kind of like, I'm on to you.
Yeah, like she's like, I know you're a fucking killer. I know who you are, motherfucker. And like to me, that's like why she's drinking even more. Like, she's shaking her shit and drinking a little more. She knows he's a psycho killer. She goes up there in his room every night, and she already knows. She knows he's a killer. Once you see him in the scene when she's up there, she already figured it out.
Right, and he almost kills her. Right,
and she probably went up there to fucking, I don't know, just get some answers, I guess, and maybe, you know what I mean, just figure out, because he's dating her daughter, so I don't know. I mean,
and then
she might have, she figured it out, but it's weird though, because you don't really know, like she figured it out, but you don't know like what her emotions are at that point. Like, she feels sorry for him, but it's like, yeah, but you're dating my daughter. You are the killer. I feel sorry for you. So she's just like cooking all these emotions, and she doesn't know how to react.
Right, because everything everything inside her is telling her that this guy is a good guy, but everything at the same time is also telling her that he's a fucking killer. Yeah,
and that's like her mother's intuition and her, her other intuitions of her condition. But it's like she has to, I don't know, like she's get out of there, right? She's like, I'm leaving. Like, either, he's like, you don't have to leave. You'll never have to worry about leaving here. But it's like, no, you gotta leave.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He's and now of course he's actually forged a connection with another human being. Yeah. For the first time in his life, you can tell, right? And I think that's also why she feels real compassion towards him.
She probably went up there to like maybe kill him, possibly, because she maybe she made that shank at the end of her stick, to get up there, because he is dating her daughter, and she figured it out at that point. Because remember, she was talking to the daughter about where does he work, what movie theater, is he friends with this actress that died? You know what I mean?
Yeah, always like fishing for details.
I'm up here every night. Yeah, that was brilliant. It was just a really brilliant way to do that.
Yeah, it's really a remarkable movie, folks. Definitely check that out. And let's have a look actually at another clip. This is from the beginning of the film. Yeah, there's that set that we were talking about before, where immediately it's like the film opens up and we're in another world. Yeah, there's the camera that he's secreting on himself. Yeah, that's like a 16 millimeter wind up. You notice that it's got like a little crank on the side. You know, I remember because I'm trying to think of other movies that caused as big of a ruckus as this. And in my lifetime, there's two things I could think of. One was the novel of American Psycho, and Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer has hardly any blood in it.
That's what's
the reason
right?
that got the reason that got an X rating.
Watch that. I still haven't watched it. I figured we would hit it because it was Maniac and that one. Those were the two, was Henry and Maniac, and then the other one that Romero did. What's the other one Romero did? It's the one you like the most. The name? Martin, Maniac, and Henry. Those are the three that I've been waiting to do on the show. I haven't gone out and watched it. Good way to open a movie, man. This is a really good way to. I don't know. The set kind of looks cool, Back then it was just a movie set, probably, right? Back then people were just watching, it's not even thinking anything of it, right?
No, I don't know about that. Because there's something very painterly about that opening
so
shot.
Artsy, right?
Yeah. That's the thing, is that this is a really artsy movie about tawdry subject matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a work of art. The whole movie is.
And not just a work of art, it's a great work of art.
Great work of art. It's a lot to learn from it. It's ahead of its time.
Right?
There's a lot of things about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why this movie, like I said, now it's considered a masterpiece. One of the things I think that Michael Powell said, let's see if I can find another quote from him here. I think he said it went from being a movie that nobody could see, but to a movie everybody has seen or wants to see.
Yeah, it sucks for him. It's good that he got his comeuppance later on in his life. You know what I mean? That at some point it came out that way. You know what I mean? It's fucked up, but sounds like he did okay at the end.
At the end, yeah. But once again, thank you, Martin Scorsese. He realized that this was a masterpiece, and that this was a masterful filmmaker, and that he'd been done horribly, horribly dirty. And here's the this is the opening of the film, and the first murder. There you see the reflecting light.
You can see his hair, it's him.
Yeah. Yes. So everybody, go check this out. Link is in the description below. I can't guarantee that you'll like this movie. I can guarantee that you will never, ever, ever forget it. So go check it out. What should we watch next week, you think?
You got any ideas? I mean, there's a lot of really cool movies on Tubi right now.
Yeah, there are.
Mainstream stuff. And I'm sure,
Yeah, I mean, look, when I saw that this was up there, I was just like, oh.
And this ain't trash either. So this can't. You're talking about we got to look at some trash. I'm like, I don't think that wasn't what you were going to do.
No, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't. I keep promising to take you into the cinematic sewer, but haven't done it yet. Wow, I could find something. I'm sure.
There's stuff I'd like to watch, that I've seen. And,
Please, if you have any
but there's stuff
recommendations,
that's just like, you know, I don't know just yet, you know. And then there's some stuff that's like, oh, I want to get it now while it's still, you know, on here. But it's really hard. Do you have anything off the top of your head?
oh man, let's think about The Devil's Reign. Possibly that's another William Fuist movie. We haven't done Nightbreed. We haven't done Shivers. We haven't done The Babadook. That's a good one. Where's some of the other
talking about
ones?
Dog Soldiers the other day. I'd like to do People Under the Stairs. I like that one a lot.
Okay.
I like The Autopsy of Jane Doe. I know you didn't really like it that much, but I found that
Oh,
one.
I liked it. I just didn't love it.
Malignant's on here right now. That's a good one.
What?
Yeah.
Is that really? That's on Tubi now?
It's on fucking Tubi. I'm here right now.
Oh.
There's a bunch that I would talk about. Don't Breathe is a good one. They Live is They Live is a great one. It can kind of go in there, but The Conjuring, I'm sorry, it's fucking good. It's scary.
Yeah, it is.
I would talk about that one. The Evil Dead remake, the first Evil Dead remake, that's a great one. Like there's a lot of really good movies on here right now.
All right, so we do something that's a little more mainstream next week? Hopefully not like super mainstream where we're just gonna get yanked off the air. Man, when I did that fucking Clint Eastwood movie, when I did a Clint Eastwood movie for fucking Spaghetti Western Jamboree, they jacked all my shit.
Oh yeah.
Subjective put a couple in here. Nightmares in a Damaged
Brain or Death Dream. Those are both good choices. Nightmares in a Damaged Brain is filth.
We did Friday Night already. Huh? We did do Friday Night, right?
Did we? I don't think we did.
Friday Night's on there too. I think that's a great movie.
Oh man, so we got a bunch of fucking shit to choose from.
There's just so much stuff. Like literally, like there's like a wellspring of movies for us to talk about. It's never ending. And I'm just talking about like mainstream to semi-mainstream, you know?
Dude, I'm telling you, Tubi is the best streaming service right now.
Yeah, that's all I watch. I don't Pandorum's a great sci-fi horror movie. A lot of people like that's like a low key like I don't know, big budget movie, I guess. But not.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
All these cool like Italian movies I'm scrolling through. I see like this Peter Cushing movie, the Blood Beast Terror. That looks dope. I'd watch that.
That's terrible.
terrible?
Don't. Yeah, that's terrible. They have Wir sind die Nacht, which We Are the Night, which is about hot German vampire chicks, which is kind of like Near Dark. Near Dark, that's a movie that we got to do that we still have.
Oh, I just want to watch that movie. I've never seen it.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
And there's just so many movies too that are just like they're not that good, but I kind of had a fun watching them, and I like to just kind of even talk shit on them or have fun with them or talk about other things. This movie Clown was pretty fun. That Eli Roth story behind that one was pretty fun. No One Lives.
That's on my list.
Yeah, dude. P2 was an interesting movie. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
It's about this lady that's like, aren't parking structures at night kind of scary, like the tall ones that you go in? The whole movie takes place in a parking structure, and there's this guy like stalking her, you know. It's called P2.
Just added it.
Fun to watch. It's a fun watch.
It's Fear. I think
mainstream a little bit.
Subjective says Dead and Buried is a masterpiece.
Dead and Buried.
Evil with fucking Kane. That's a fun slasher movie. I don't know if you've seen that. He's in 1 and 2.
Ew.
It's
Dead and Buried by Gary Sherman. That's a good one. Did we? Wait, we did.
The Corns on there, the old school one.
We did Deathline, Raw Meat, right?
Oh, I don't remember that one. That sounds new to me.
About the subhuman guy and the British train system. Have we done that? Have we not done that?
The only one in the train system I remember
you
was.
You might have done that before us.
Remember
that movie is terrifying. That's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Like Deathline. It's called. Deathline. That movie left me shook. Every time I've seen it, that movie leaves me like.
You've been on the subway since, have you, Brian?
Drag Me to Hell?
Oh, no. I mean, American subway's nowhere near as scary. New York City subway? Nah, I can deal with that. I'm sorry, what did you just say, homeboy?
Drag Me to Hell's a good one, too.
Drag Me. I wasn't that crazy
Just like,
about it,
meh.
but then again, I wasn't that crazy about Dead Silence, and I'm glad that we that us reviewing that, you suggesting that, got me to give that another look, because I actually really enjoyed that last time I watched it.
I like the Drag Me to Hell. Like for me, like the one of the most scariest. It was weird. Like the Autopsy of Jane Doe. That one was pretty scary for me and the lady. We turned that on at night, and Brian Cox is great in there. Emil Hirsch is great in there.
That's by the guy that did that movie. God, what is it? Immortal or Mortal? I'm trying to remember.
I don't think I've seen Mortal. I've heard about it. People.
That's what I keep telling you. Like, if you're into like Norse mythology, you gotta watch that.
What is it on?
Mortal.
It's on something, huh? I'm gonna.
It's here. Let me
I'm
look
gonna text you just so I remember it. Sometimes I just text my wife shit just so it's in there.
That's cool. That's great, man.
Mortal.
I'm always happy to make myself.
Hey, have you seen this movie Dark Skies? It's a straight up horror alien movie. It's like it's the only other movie like Fire in the Sky that's like a horror alien movie about abduction. I actually thought it was decent.
Yeah, that's the one that's by the guy that did Blair Witch Project.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
I thought that movie was decent, dude.
I liked it too.
10 years ago.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Silent Hill. I actually liked Silent Hill. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a fun movie. I think it could have had a lot of potential. It's a video game movie, the first Silent Hill.
No, I remember the video game, and I remember going to see one of the sequels because
sequels was okay. It was directed by the guy Michael Besot, who did Solomon Kane. He directed the sequel to Silent Hill. I thought it was okay. It had Sean Bean and the lady from The Matrix in it, Trinity. Forgot her name.
Yes.
But the first one's I think a lot better. It's not scary though, but it's cool.
Yeah, the only reason we ended up seeing it was because we had a blackout that lasted like a fucking week.
Oh,
and
man.
My girlfriend and I were going out of our fucking minds. I'm like, let's go to the fucking movies. What's playing? The horror movie. Yeah, we'll go see that one.
What about They Live? Do you consider that a horror movie?
Nah, that's more of like a science fiction satire, I think.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Man,
it was satire then.
Good though, it's on there. It's
now it's a documentary.
Yeah, it was satire then.
But it's just like one of those movies that like we can. It's like a guilty pleasure. You know what I mean? Like we can hit up. I mean,
it's not even a guilty pleasure. That's an awesome movie, man.
And it kind of like breaks, like it falls in there, dude. Because there's, like these kind of.
Okay. Well, Mortal is not. It's on. If you have Amazon Prime, it's on Prime.
Well, okay, I got Prime.
Yeah. It's one of those movies where I'm just like, it's like you're watching it and you're enjoying it and you're like, this is really cool. But while you're watching it, you're thinking of this friend of yours who's going to be like, oh, but he's really going to fucking pop a boner over this. You know what I'm talking about.
All right, I'll just text you Mortal. That way I know. Okay. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it's by the same director who did the Autopsy of Jane Doe. Pops, you want to explain yourself here?
This is Laurie's third.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Let's take a look at this.
Start explaining.
It's 7 minutes long. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, I can fast forward to the part. But the whole thing's good. It's worth watching.
Do what you like.
She probably would appreciate the critique or whatever.
From
movie people, right?
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
All right, here we go.
Hello? Yeah. Yeah, 6:30.
I don't know if you guys know, but Path of the Pale Rider is a comic book series in which the death cycle is broken.
Yep.
Okay, everything survives. It can be
the death of death.
Yeah, there's no death. So, this is the third movie, but I think it goes back toward the beginning of the story. Okay,
Gotcha.
It's kind of like
earlier in the timeline.
It's going earlier in the timeline than what we've seen, I think. But basically, nothing dies. Nothing can die. And they're just kind of, it hasn't really sunk in on everybody yet, I don't think. But the thing she's wearing is a thing that tells whether or not you have an actual heartbeat Or if,
Nice.
if it's red, then you don't. If it's green, then you do, because there's people walking around that are dead. Right? So
yeah, people are gonna know how to fucking fudge that shit.
Yeah, there will be hackers. There will be. Yeah. Here we go, though. I love that shirt too. Check that out. Skull eating the spider. Oh
nice.
Yeah, it's been at 6:30 for 2 weeks. I promise you, I've told you like 12 times. Okay, all right. Oh, can you stop and pick up some more drinks? And get you some soda. I love you. Bye.
Now, the tablet on the counter is key. You got to keep an eye on the tablet on the counter too.
Hello?
And yes, subjective, I would.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just catch you next time. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, all right. Okay, bye. Darn.
Yeah, keep an eye on all the monitors, all the screens.
Ooh,
Garlic.
oh, thank you. Hello. Hello. Amanda, hi. 6:30? No? Okay. But I just, Heather just called and she canceled too. Yes, and I have been watching the news. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just, like cooking for 12 people, but it's fine. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Apple. Come on. Hello. Yes. I'm just going to cancel the whole thing. No, nobody's coming. Jen, it's not, I'm not mad at you. There's we've been planning this for, yes, I know. Yes, I have been watching the news. No, I don't care. We could talk about this later. I gotta go. Bye. Oh, come on. Yes, I've been watching the news. I just cancel the night of, everybody.
Here we go. Look, we got RJ's commercial.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Do that.
Doc's Coffee Shop. Some London Gothic. Oh, look, who's that?
Because those shifty looking dudes.
Okay.
Hold on, Doc. That was my line. Hold on, Doc.
A Star is Born.
Now what? Did you see me get shot?
No, I didn't. Back that
Dude,
shit up.
You got to watch the screen.
All right.
Hold on, Doc.
Oh, shit, Pops. Damn.
Yeah,
Oh, man, you ate some lead there, bro.
Is that cool or what?
Yeah, man, you okay?
Yeah, man.
Hope the exit wound wasn't too bad.
No, I was wearing one of them Clint Eastwood metal plates.
Ah, there you go. There you go. That's what I meant.
Pop, no name.
Dude, that was great. And
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and keep playing it because, there's a lot
Please.
more to it. And other
Please.
people in the madness are also in this. Check it out.
Oh, yeah, let's check it out.
Hello.
Hello, this is Hometown Security. Can you please give me your passcode?
Yes, passcode is Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Are you home by yourself, ma'am?
I don't know. Let me check.
Oh, doors open.
Hello?
Check this guy out.
Murder, murder! Looks like somebody that's in a horrorcore for sure.
Check him out. He's
Definitely a horrorcore guy.
going that way.
Murder, murder! Murder!
I seen Don Doolittle. I think I saw Brandon. There's Don right there.
He saw zippity doo dah.
Right?
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, dude, it was great. Carissa's in it. Doc, me.
Cool.
Her kids. Jason. Let's see. We got Dawn. There's Dawn. She's in it. Gary's in it. Good, man. she
That
puts
was
a lot of
fun.
effort into her comic book series, yo.
Well, not just her. I mean, I don't know anybody else that's making short films to promote their comic.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
She,
pretty
I mean, and
innovative.
all of her books have like puzzles and interactive shit that you got to
People-
figure
yeah.
out. And if you figure it out, you get other shit. And it's like, man, she just
Right.
like, she
There's so
took it
many
way
people-
deep. I
See,
totally dig everything Laurie's doing, man.
Yeah. No, I love when people come up with like new creative shit because then that gives stuff for guys like me to steal, for our own campaigns,
Yeah, it's like-
as it should be, right?
Me and Doc went into StreamYard and we recorded that little segment, right? With me being shot, like we were doing a live show. We
Yeah.
set the whole thing up like we were live at the time, and she was just watching our show,
Oh my god, man!
Dude.
Good thing you didn't get swatted.
It's so much fun, man. Because look,
Great.
I've given her a few different ideas for some of this stuff because I don't have the means or the props or the help to pull it off.
Right.
But I'll be like, Laurie, you got to do this, you got to do this, and then I see my own ideas come out in her show, in her
Oh, that's
little
cool.
movies. I fucking dig that, dude.
That's cool, man. That's
Cool.
cool. Hey, man, anybody that's doing any creative shit, I'm fucking down with, man. And
And she's also the host of the Tuesday Morning Brew every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Man, and she's fucking better interviewer than I am.
Laurie's killing it. I've watched Laurie. Laurie's Laurie's killing it for
Yeah.
sure.
Path of the Pale Rider, yo.
Yeah, everybody go check that out.
I think she's in between right now. The last one just ended.
Okay.
But I mean, then she comes right out with this. You see what I mean? It's like she's always working on something, no matter what, to promote and or generate more interest in what she's doing. You know?
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, everybody go check that out. And also Edwin Acevedo was on Open the Gates tonight. Everybody go check out his new book. What's it called?
Raid of the White Leper.
Raid of the White Leopard.
It's on Fun My Comic. You can go over there and check that out on Fun My Comic.
Viking book.
Yeah. Edwin's legit, so everybody throw him some love. And remember, if you can't back a book, you can at least share the link out. And if you think that doesn't make a difference, you're wrong. It actually makes a big difference, and you actually help, especially right now,
because it's getting lost in like the algorithms of social media. All of our campaigns are. So and Google doesn't help. You can't find any campaigns on Indiegogo on Google, basically. Maybe it's Kickstarter now, but no, they're completely shadow banned now. So
they're consolidating power. I agree with your theory that it's not personal. It's just about money. They're just going to make it so if you want people to see your shit, you gotta
sling them some bigger percentage. You know, they're probably going to want 10% now instead of 5%. So. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised.
People might do that, you know. Some people
might even be 55. Might even be 55 if they're like, "Hey, we'll, kick us, some snaps and a larger percentage, and we'll promote your shit." Because when we promote your shit, we make money.
If they did promote you guys, then I'd understand.
Yeah, but they don't really do it that much. It depends on how many
they hide our shit. They hide our shit.
You know, and more people are on Kickstarter too, like looking at stuff. You know what I mean? Than they actually are on Indiegogo. Most people people don't say, "Oh, are you going to start an Indiegogo?" Like we've been doing this now for 5 years on Indiegogo or more. Most the general populace are like, "Are you going to do an Indiegogo?" They don't fucking say that. They say, "Are you going to do a Kickstarter?"
Yep.
Go anywhere on the fucking planet. Are you going to do a Kickstarter?
Yep.
They know what
what's
Kickstarter
Indiegogo?
is.
Well, it's like Kickstarter. Oh, okay, I know what that is.
They even know what a Kickstarter is more than the word crowdfunding campaign or a crowdfunder or an Indiegogo. Kickstarter is always going to be the first thing. You know, you want a Coke?
Yep.
And that's why I try to always.
You want a Pepsi Cola? No,
Yes.
You want a fucking Coke. It's always going to be.
Yeah, can I grab a Kleenex?
It's always going to be you do a Kickstarter. You do a Kickstarter. You do a Kickstarter. It's always going to be that way.
But see, in some cases, it's not, Matt, because I personally. As much as I love you guys and will promote you guys on whatever platform you're on, you'll never hear me talking about Indiegogo or Kickstarter in a positive way. And I definitely won't refer to crowdfunding as Kickstarter because I'm just not down with the way they treat you guys. Okay?
Oh, yeah, no. I'm just saying 99% of the populace.
Oh, I know, but I go out of my way.
Oh, yeah.
I go out of my way not to say those words unless you're campaign is actually on there and we're promoting it at the time. Otherwise, I don't say that. I don't type it in. I don't.
Yeah, we're talking about normies. We're talking about like regular people. Yeah. Like I said, it's just I tell people, I got an Indiegogo. What's that? It's like Kickstarter. Oh, okay, I know what that is.
Yeah, is that like a disco dance thing or something? Like
the only one that I'll talk about right now and talk about exclusive apart from their campaigns is Fun to My Comic until they do something wrong.
Exactly. Like I'd like to go on there next, but I understand why people would want to go everywhere. Like I understand why somebody would want to go on Indiegogo and Kickstarter and Fund My Comic and fucking Zoop for the same book and then end up at their website at the end. I wouldn't fucking hate on them for that. You know why?
I don't hate on them. Like I said, I just
their book out amongst.
I hate on the platforms. Yeah, but I don't hate on the creators. You sell your book wherever you can sell your book, you know.
And it's hard to boycott everything in your life. Like otherwise,
just don't go to crowdfunding. A lot of things
you won't have, you know, like I'm not going to eat that or I'm not going to buy that. Like eventually, you're not going to have to. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it's kind of hard, dude. You know.
Yeah. There's only one. Everybody should be able to use whatever they want.
There's only one I recommend, and one that I would say not to use. There's only. The other ones are just whatever, but there's only one I will straight up recommend and endorse for the time being, and that's Fund My Comic.
Me
and
too.
There's only one that I would say don't use, and y'all know who that is. So
yeah,
don't fuck with my friend.
I know who it is, but I'm not
Michael
sure. But Fund My Comic, From My Comics sounds
It's
legit.
soup.
Like,
Camilla Zhang. Camilla Zhang. Camilla Zhang. Camilla Zhang. Camilla Zhang. Camilla Zhang.
for me, I don't really know the answer. I know that From My Comics sounds
That
pretty
was
dope.
bullshit.
You know what I mean? That sounds good. You know what I mean? But I've seen like some dudes that are kind of semi-pro, like they do a Kickstarter or they do a couple crowdfunders, and then they do their own website. But but
we
those
gotta
people
wait.
usually have a built-in fan base. Then you could kind of do it from there. You know?
Yeah. And then you got people like me that I don't care what website we're selling your book at, except for one. I won't promote you on one platform. All the rest of them, I don't care.
Yeah.
Brian knows I promoted the hell out of him when he was trying to do that Zoop thing because I wanted to see the results. I wanted to see the fulfillment end of it, and I didn't get to because everybody fucking shit all over that campaign. It sucked.
Yeah.
You know,
that shit was fucking weird.
I'm still butthurt.
I was
still
trying to
butthurt over
find
that
out.
shit, man. I really am.
Well, I still want to
was
see
trying
like
to
the
find
actual
out
or
if it
John's
was a
fulfillment.
viable
'Cause
platform or
I
not,
backed on that
right?
campaign, so I want to see how that works out. You know what I mean? Because it's still, it's coming. I guess I got
Camilla Zhang. Yeah, the gay ops were just out the ass, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking
gay ops
funny,
are
dude.
out the
Like,
ass. I
at the-
remember you
at the-
asking me like, "Oh, are you gonna like do you have any like streams planned like for like the last 24 hours?" I was like, "No."
Like I'm gonna put it real simple. They're all the fucking same. I'm sorry, but fucking Kickstarter, Indiegogo, crowdfunder, they're all fucking.
No,
they're
we
all
have to
the same,
wait.
dude.
We have to just use Indiegogo until certain people. We know the people I'm talking about until they create, their crowdfunder,
As far
and
as I
then
know,
they
like,
get
I-
like
like,
10% of
give me,
our
give me
shit
an hour
because
and
they feel
I'll
entitled
I'll
to
list
that
adjacent creators that have been butt fucked by all three of those companies. Like I can't name them all right now, but give me an hour and I'll drop a tweet. Like they're all
I know
fucking whack.
people that have been screwed
All of
by
them.
all of them. That's why I
Yeah,
don't
so,
promote the
so at the end of the day, I'm
platforms
just like
themselves.
go in there and use their shit, get their fucking money, and let people see your
Yes.
book because
Yes.
you're gonna get hidden. Like it's fucking guerrilla art out here, man. It's guerrilla fucking.
That's
guerrilla
what I'm
comics.
saying.
Like I said, I will
What the fuck
promote
are you gonna-
Butch
how are you gonna do
Cleaver. I'll promote Butch Cleaver wherever it's at, but I won't be going, "Hey man, go to Indiegogo."
Right.
Do you understand the difference?
Yeah.
Even if you're on
Yeah, of course.
Indiegogo, I'll promote your book and
Yeah, you're
say,
gonna say only
"This
on
is where his
Indiegogo."
link
Yeah.
is."
Right.
But I ain't gonna be out there going, "You should use Indiegogo because they'll shadow ban you."
Right. And luckily I made the campaign before the shadow ban. You know what I mean? That's how I know it's all about money because I have mad gore on my page. I have people getting fucking chopped up,
Eviscerated.
to bits, just fuck the fuck up all over my page, and it was before the fucking culling. So that's how I know it's all about money. You know what I mean? And maybe some rando fucking bitch or somebody that goes in there like, "Oh, get this campaign yanked down. Oh, I don't like this guy. Oh, maybe that goes on too." But I haven't fucked with said bitch. Really, I don't. You know what I mean? Or whoever.
Right.
it is, you know?
How do you even know if you're shadow banned? Because I never checked to see if I am.
You
I
have to
don't think I
Google
am.
Google your shit and see if it pops up. You're not. I don't think you're shadow banned.
You'll know.
There's a gang assist gun up on there. I don't even think you're shadow banned.
No, I don't think I
am.
am. How the fuck am I immune? It's really strange.
It's just there's randos.
Probably
There's just
because
rando
they
shit.
saw you on Zoop.
Maybe. I think every now and then there's like maybe 1 out of 5 that don't get shadow banned. Probably. You know what I mean? But for the most part, everything is now. You know.
How many
you know
of
why?
the ones that
Because
come
Indiegogo's
over
not
from
perfect.
Kickstarter get shadow banned?
It's just a fucking computer program.
Hold
Like
up,
there's going to
hold
be
up.
some anomalies
Matt,
where you get through.
I'm
you
not
know?
seeing my new campaign.
How many people that come over to Indiegogo from Kickstarter get shadow banned?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It's me.
Ain't never seen it.
Oh wow! It
Never
actually
seen
says
somebody who did their campaign first on Kickstarter come to Indiegogo and then get messed with.
You're not shadow banned on Google, Brian. Your new campaign is the first thing up on the Google search, and it takes me directly to your campaign.
it says sponsored.
It says sponsored, but it's the first thing up on there for mine too.
All right.
You know, so if I
Okay.
click on that, boom, so it's just like
Okay, so we're not shadow.
most people can't even do that. Their shit's just fucked in there. You know, you type in
That's
Butch
fucked.
Cleaver, it's gonna take you probably to my first campaign. I got lucky. You know, I was
Yeah,
before
yeah,
the
yeah.
culling.
Yeah.
You know.
But we
But I
give a
think-
fuck. We give a fuck because we care about the scene and we care about our fucking
Yeah.
comrades in arms.
And I'm just going to keep my Indiegogo up because it's there. I'm not going to shut it down. If people want to buy the last pieces of the last copies, I have it there. I'm not really selling any right now, but there's.
Well,
people
don't
out
worry.
there that
You're
can
not
buy
gonna you're not gonna get canceled for using Indiegogo. You might get canceled if you use some of the other ones. But
Yeah. But
that's-
once I'm
that
always
one's
gonna keep
official
something
for
up.
now.
I always got to have a store open. You know what I mean? Always got to
Yep.
be have my book. So I'll close
Moving
that one.
product.
Yeah.
Actually, I just keep watching the amount going up on Fund My Comic, and I don't think you're going to be, as soon as people start getting books fulfilled off that site, you're not going to be able to stop it then.
Oh, man. Well, I hope so.
Growing. All it takes is people getting some books in hand going, look, I got Dillard's book from Fund My Comic. Look, I got,
So you're saying if I launched a Butch Cleaver on Fund My Comic and fulfilled it in like a day or two, then we're getting fulfilled.
As soon as people start showing off them books they got from Fund My Comic.
Yeah. And those dudes are going to deliver too.
I can literally do that,
dude, why not? And here's the thing. I definitely want to do something on there too, for sure. Right?
Yeah, I do too.
Because I think this is something that we need to throw our support behind.
Yeah,
I agree.
We need 100%. A place of our own, dudes. We need a place of our own, and
like one
Luke
place,
has assured everybody that he is not going to let
right
bad publicity get you taken down, and your campaign has to be approved by a human in the first freaking place.
Yeah, and if something's up, you can go.
And we have to try.
It's Luke. Go talk to Luke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And here's the thing: even if it ends up not working for whatever reason, we have to try. Homeboy built a canoe. The least we could do is fucking grab an oar.
Yeah, what if it doesn't work? Oh, then it doesn't work. We have to fucking try something. We can't sit here fucking sitting on the toilet like just talking about shit all the time. We have to fail.
No, fuck
try.
that.
It has to try, and people have to keep trying. You know what I mean?
Right.
Otherwise, nothing's going to get fucking done.
I like that they have an actual approval process. It's not a put it up there and anybody can bitch and piss and moan and have it taken down. There's none of that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally, dude.
It's free speech. I mean, obviously, there's going to be. You can't put certain things on the campaign page, obviously.
Don't be an idiot.
Comic book creator, dude. A comic book creator.
Don't be an idiot.
Comic creator,
but they're not going to tell you what you can and can't have in your book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might not want to put cherry Pop-Tart on there. If it's mature, put a warning on your campaign. Put them. This book is mature, may not be for you. Whatever, right? Police yourself. Right. And don't put up shit that's gonna get the website in trouble. So you can, assuming your comic isn't all tits and ass.
You're not going to be able to do that because they won't approve your campaign if it's got crap, and you don't get to go in there later and edit it without them seeing what your edit is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't go in there later and put a bunch of crap up there. They're going to be like, no, can't use that.
And you have to do that just as protection from fucking gay ops.
Yeah,
and people that
you got
that are invested in that site failing.
Thinking.
Look, they put a lot of thought into it, and the shopping cart feature. Dude,
I gotta talk to him. What if I got an idea? There's something I want to ask Luke about. I'll do it off air, but I have an idea for my book. It sounds pretty cool,
dude.
Dude, why not? And
totally.
I want to do dude. Maybe the thing that we do together could be.
I'm down. I'm down for whatever. That sounds fucking dope. I'm down to do an exclusive on there, or not an exclusive. I'm down to do it on there too. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Right? Because you know what? It's just it's one of those things. It's just I stood by the sidelines and watched somebody do something that's potentially beneficial to everybody. And I'm just okay, like I said, he built a canoe. If we could just grab an oar, it's not that much to ask for.
Right.
And because we got to do something because the status quo just ain't fucking.
We have to do it, and if he fails and we fail, that's okay.
Yeah.
We fucking have to try. No one else is trying it. Dude.
The whole thing is even if it doesn't take off, he's going to learn. We're all going to learn something from this.
Right.
And the next one's going to be better. But I think he's got this figured out. It's just
it looks legit.
People. Like I said, when people start getting product, they can say they got off a campaign on Fund My Comic. That's when people are going to start signing up more, when they start seeing product in hand.
Right.
That's all it's going to take, man.
Right. Right. And with these dudes, it's not going to take fucking 2-3 years.
No.
We're going to see those.
It's a crowdfunding site made by comic book creators.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Sounds good to me. All right. I'm going to go get some chow. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I really do appreciate it. We really do appreciate it. Smash that like button, subscribe, ring a ding ding dong, the bell, and Pops, tell these people where they can find you.
You can find me on Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube, in the Comic Related Madness over there on Facebook, at Madness Comic on Twitter, and basically anywhere that people will have me.
Okay, all right. Thanks for hanging out, man. And Matt, tell these foos where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Twitter at RuneCutter Comic. If you guys want, you can check out my YouTube channel. It's Metal Movies and Brewskis, where I talk about those things and have people on sometimes. And if you guys want to support me directly, you could back my comic. It's called Butch Cleaver. It's about a butcher that gets killed and he's brought back to life by a voodoo curse in this gothic horror western. And I delivered my books within about 24 hours. And this is Butch Cleaver 1, Butch Cleaver 2. And so if you guys want, check them out.
Shit.
Thanks again for having me on, as always.
I can say that because I read it.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for hanging out.
One last comment out of the chat over there. I have not heard of a comic called The Nasty.
The Nasty? No.
I have not heard that.
Do the
video nasties.
The video nasties.
I gotta ask though, is that being crowdfunded? Is it in comic stores? Where do you find The Nasty?
Stop it, Brian! You're gonna make me start spitting fucking British sub dialects. There's so many. I've seen this kid on fucking on Twitter or some shit like a year ago. He spat like Cockney, like proper, like every Irish, Scottish, like everything. Then he did the American stuff. He did New York. He did California. He did everything. He did all like the American accent. The English accent. So he did American and all the different.
So it's not just like one dude busting down like the
I could do them. I could do them, but not that good. I could bust all of those. Give me like an hour and let me tape them. Not that great, but I could do them. I know the differences.
I did to make sure not to get them mixed up too.
Yeah, like the Scottish one. Is a little more Scotland. Scotland is free. Like a little more. And Irish one like that. Like that's just one. Like give me a while. But it's crazy.
Oh man,
I like the Scottish one though. It's more brutal, like from the gut.
Well, I mean, if you're a writer, you love language.
I love that. That's like in Butch Cleaver, I play with that a little bit too. Like I would write the dialect, then I would break it with the accent. I
love your villains too.
Or if I'm gonna do an Irish, cop or something.
Creator of The Nasty lives in Scotland.
Okay, well, hey, Mark Millar is from Scotland, and actually, it wasn't Grant Morrison, I think, originally from Scotland.
Wow,
man, wow, two fucking giants that have come from there. But so I mean, look, we've got good ideas for watching movies for next week, so we can always discuss it like in the DM group, folks. If you ever have any preferences or suggestions, you can always just like leave them in the comments below. But we'll think of something cool to watch. We got
sure, it's always gonna be cool.
Brian's
always thinking of something good.
We got as is your boy Matt here. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out, fellas. Really do appreciate it. And everybody hanging out, thank you so much. We will see you next week. And Pops, you can take over. And until next week, peace, love, and